But if you think I'm like making this up or imagining this, I'm at war. They're at war with me behind the scenes. There's people like, they don't even talk about you. That all they do is talk about me. Trust me. Trust me. All they do is talk about me. You want to know why like everybody is so quiet like on these live streams when they're nervous? They're trying not to say the wrong thing.
Johnny, switch to your
Thank you for watching, folks.
Call me
Very much appreciated.
Call me unreliable. Throw in undependable too.
And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Spaghetti cat, spaghetti cat, spaghetti cat, spaghetti cat, spaghetti cat. I wait for you, spaghetti cat. It's all I can do, spaghetti cat, to keep from falling apart, spaghetti cat, 'cause you're breaking my heart.
Oh yeah. When I first saw you on that daytime TV show, sitting behind that plate of spaghetti, I knew that you were no ordinary cat. Haters will hate on you and make negative comments such as, that cat looks scared, and a cat should not be eating spaghetti. But you just keep on eating that spaghetti, because you will always be
Spaghetti cat. I wait for you, spaghetti cat. It's all I can do, spaghetti cat.
Yeah.
To keep from falling apart, spaghetti cat. 'Cause you're breaking my heart, spaghetti cat.
Doe, a deer, a female deer, ray, a drop of golden sun.
You have no idea what's coming. You incinerated the priest's temple.
What is it you can't face?
You see, in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun.
Pistol. It's quite unique, as you'll see. It also fires a shotgun cartridge for use in messy close range. These you're familiar with?
Yes, sir.
You stabbed the devil in the back. What do you think he'll do?
First of all, I would like to make one thing quite clear. Excuse me, Captain, haven't we forgotten to thank the Lord?
Maria? It seems to be the will of God that you leave us. The Lord will show you in his own good time.
3, 2, 1, go.
There's been a lot of talk lately, a lot of slander, a lot of talk about Eric July, Ison, and I find it terrible. There's a lot of people out there that want to hate, they criticise Ison like it's filth. Criticism is racism. And I want you to understand that. If society's taught me anything, is that as white people should be utilising our white shame, our white guilt, and supporting all black artists, no matter how mediocre they are. Sure, Eric July might just be in it for the money. He might be a bit arrogant and condescending, but he's a black artist and you've got to support him. Because without support for our black artists, what would they have? You shouldn't be criticising black artists' work. It's just not on. It's not on. It's totally racist and bigoted. So I would like to say, leave Eric alone. And for all you white people out there having a go at him, try utilising some of your white guilt. Every black artist deserves to be supported, and Eric's a conservative. There's not many of them. It's a sad state of affairs. It really hits me in the heart. I mean, sure, Eric July might use a lot of CGI and graphics and computer-generated art, but that's not the point. He does it anyway, and he's doing it on his own. He's a strong, independent black man, and he's making money. And you lot can't do anything but hate on him. How sad and pathetic you must be. I'm not naming any names, but you know who you are. You know all the ones that have been mean to Eric. You've been mean to him. Mean. And he's not on. He's not on. He's the best thing since Malcolm X.
Can I give you a list of historical figures, prominent figures from history, and you'll tell me whether or not they were white or black?
Shoot, give me your best shot.
Where did we start? Okay, Beethoven.
Black.
Mozart.
Black.
Cleopatra.
She looked black.
William Shakespeare.
Undoubtedly black.
Abraham Lincoln.
That's still in debate. We're not saying that he was black. It's a possibility.
Christopher Columbus.
He was white.
Henry VIII.
Black. There's people that you swear are white today that are black. For example, a famous singer looks like a white man.
No, not that.
Dances like a black man. Sings like a black man. But he looks like a white man. But he's a black man.
Who?
Tom Jones. Trace your family lineage on your father's side. If you happen to be one of us, you're welcome here. If you're not, we'll see you in captivity.
We all know a life of the party. Somebody who lights up a room simply by walking in and putting a lampshade on their head. I know a few tricks myself. Now, don't try this at home. I've been practicing for years. In this tale of trick or treat, have we opened the door of truth, or are we leaving you holding the bag? Is this the story of plumbing with a mind of its own, or is it just another pipe dream? Is this story of the milk can that seems to possess the truth, or are we simply taking a lie and milking it for all it's worth? Is this story of the wicked cemetery boss based on an actual event, or are we burying the truth beneath a mound of lies? Does this story seem to contain the recipe for truth, or is it simply another half-baked lie? Is this story the product of a writer's imagination, or have we unlocked the truth with the turn of a skeleton key? What's your opinion? Are we telling you a true story of real substance, or are we just barking at the moon? Is this story engraved with the permanent markings of truth, or is it written in disappearing ink? Are we just repeating an urban myth that never really happened? Or did we get the truth straight from the horse's mouth? Is this mysterious tale based on fact, or has the truth just checked out? Is this vampire tale based on an actual event, or are we just trying to suck you in? It's now up to you to answer whether this story is fact or fiction, and take your time. We promise not to grill you. Is this cruel joke based on an actual event, or have we ignited an explosion of lies? Is this story a garbled work of fiction, or does it actually reflect the truth? Is this story of the deadly dream adorned with fact after fact, or is it as bare as a birthday suit? Have we presented you with the truth in this tale of a woman who never walks down the aisle, or are we leading you down the garden path? Did this story really happen, or is it just another mind game? Have you been listening to a story based on fact, or have you been hearing the voice of deceit? But what about the detail of the chocolate chip cookies? Could they have imagined that too? Is this a story of a person being in two places at once, or is it just another tale one would tell around the fire? at summer camp.
Or is the explanation as simple as those mornings when your car engine won't turn over for several times and then suddenly kicks right in? Or that bulb in your house that only goes on when it wants to?
We got you. It's a total fabrication. It's a fake. We made it up. We made it up. Not this time. It's a total fabrication. This one was invented by a writer. We got you. It never happened. It's fiction. Pure fiction. It's fiction. Pure fiction. It's a total fabrication. Total fabrication. It's fiction. Pure fiction. Have you ever walked out of a mall into a huge parking area and realized you'd forgotten where you parked your car? How much money would it take to make you spend a night in a cemetery? Do you love to go a-wandering beneath the clear blue sky? Have you ever had the desire to write your initials in wet cement? The wet cement. Not a chance. Does this story seem possible? No way. Is this story true? It's fiction. Pure fiction. Then how do you explain? It's an urban legend. It never happened. It's false. It's false. It's false. What about the mysterious behavior of the barbecue lid?
Where is he? How the fuck should I know? Just get me out of here! Catherine, you gotta be quiet now. Shut that dog up! Please! I gotta get out of here! Catherine! The other officers will be here in
Hi there. Uh-oh, this looks dangerous. Will they see that car? Think I better have a word with those two. That wasn't very clever, was it? If you'd been looking and listening all the way across, that wouldn't have happened. That's better. Remember, always use the green cross code, because I won't be there when you cross the road.
Hello everyone, Billy Tucci here, and I am so excited to announce She's long-awaited return to comic book shops with this April's She #1 30th Anniversary Original Art Edition. The groundbreaking masterwork that literally changed the face of comics and launched the Bad Girl Revolution returns in this premium formatted 112-page hardcover edition featuring the never-before-published original artwork from the book that started it all, 1994's She, Way of the Warrior #1. The She #1 Original Art Edition is literally a project that is 30 years in the making, with every single original art page, penciled inks, hand-painted colors, and letters all rescanned and digitally remastered back to their original glory. We are also offering for the very first time the She, Way of the Warrior #1 Pencils Up Ashcan Edition. This book features 32 of my original pencil scans from 1994. Again, thank you for 30 wonderful years in comics. We are so appreciative of all your support and faith in the past, and we look forward to bringing you lots of new She product in 2024. See you on the comic shelves.
What's up, nigga? You wanna talk some shit? Call me. Start some shit, bitch.
Sup, fool? You gonna talk shit about me, homie? Where you from?
Hundreds of niggas is waiting for your motherfucking call, and they all talking shit about you right now.
You wanna sell that shit? Call these motherfuckers ASAP.
Yeah, I said some shit. What? Man, fuck you and your bone spurs.
The hardest niggas is standing by, ready to pick up that phone. Buff niggas, dark niggas, Asian niggas, white niggas.
Suck my dick, bitch. Fuck you.
1213-373-4253.
Just dial, nigga. I'll fuck you up.
Deaf niggas, classic niggas, racist niggas, mystery niggas, psycho niggas, dog niggas, Jewish niggas.
You got some motherfucking nerds calling me out Shabbat on some little bullshit ass nigga. Better calm that shit down and come around here and show me some fucking respect before me and my Jewish niggas come up here and beat your ass, nigga. Off top.
Niggas is talking shit. Call now.
$4.99 per minute.
I am the computer man, and I am ready for questions now, thank you.
Somebody. and I were down the park. Charlie and I liked going on the swings, and I began to tweet that we were going to go on the swings and that we'd be laughing out loud too. And I was just about to send the tweet when Charlie stopped me. Charlie says don't tweet about things nobody gives a shit about, or you might come across as a bit of a twat. And so we went on the swings without tweeting about it. And we laughed out loud. And even though we didn't tweet about it, we both had a really good time. So remember, only tweet about things that other people actually give a shit about.
Yours hooked. So reward yourself with the pleasure of smooth smoking. Yes, yes, yes. No other cigarette stinks like pell-mell. So smoke cigarettes. They are...
I will protect you.
Hello, you beautiful lot. Thanks for tuning in to Comicsgate Commandos. I've got some sad news tonight. Patrick Q, Quinlan, he ain't going to be with us because he's ill. He's in the infirmary. Dr. Ben's giving him extra rations. Dr. Ben will be along, though, I think, shortly. He hasn't told me he's not. Thanks for tuning in. Tonight, we are going to be talking about very strange things. Conspiracy theories and shit like that. Very strange stuff, mysteries, all sorts. So if you want to get any chat in the chat, if you want to like recommend anything or ask questions or whatever, just bring it up. Get better soon, Pat, if you're watching. Mr. Self-Destruct says get better soon. Yeah, been a lot of strange stuff going on in Comicsgate as well lately, a lot more drama. Get better soon. Lots of bloody brilliant gold from Malin Mysteries. Next season's going to be spot on. Oh shit, the link. I thought I sent you the link, Ben. Sorry, mate. 2 seconds. Well, that was silly of me, wasn't it? There you go, Ben. Just check your Twitter, mate. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, folks. The first thing that I was going to chat about tonight, very strange thing in England. It was an old story from the 70s, and it intrigued me as a kid. It really got like sort of interested me. It was the let me just find it for you. Oh, here he is. I'm the diggy doctor. Oh no, it's not. We got someone else in the green room. Lord Dark Destroyer.
Yo, what's up?
How you doing, bro? You alright?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just chilling. I got in from work a little while ago, and I dozed off on the couch for a minute, and then I woke up and I saw that you were still playing intros. I was like, oh shit, I better get in there.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
Thanks for the invite.
I was just about to look at some old story from the 70s in England. It was have you ever heard of the Sandown clown? Sandown clown.
That sounds familiar. Did I just watch a YouTube video on that?
It's kind of like a strange incident back in the 70s, and it was these little kids bumped into like a creepy clown character, and it was like extraterrestrial almost.
Did he go by like Sam?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, all colors Sam.
Yeah, I did. I just literally watched a YouTube video on this like 2 days ago. That's so crazy.
How you doing, Doc? Sorry, I thought I sent you the link, man.
No, that's what I figured. I was like, oh, I don't think you noticed. And look, I've got a big sale going on. I gotta get rid of all these Red Room comics. Got a lot of Red Room comics. Gotta get them out of here quick. I'm putting them on discount. I got some X-Men's. They're all on discount tonight. So
you're trying to sell some, yeah? You got a big collection.
Yeah, we got a whole couple of boxes of these Red Room comics, and
interesting.
Yeah. This was the dude.
It's
What's going on, Ben? How you doing,
on the Isle of Wight.
Tale of the Sandown Clown. The incident happened in early May 1973 in Sandown on the Isle of Wight.
The Isle of Wight is a creepy island in itself. There's been a lot of conspiracy theories about it. It's under the British Crown, but it's got its own sort of council, and they're a bit creepy. They've covered up a lot of like paedophile stuff and things like that.
2 children, a boy and a girl of 7 years of age, were near Lake Common in Sandown. At around 4 o'clock, they heard in the distance an eerie wailing noise, which they described as sounding similar to an ambulance siren. They walked in the direction of the sound, which took...
It's kind of like the way it came across. Have you ever heard like the stuff when Joe Rogan was talking about his DMT trips and he saw like clowns and jesters?
Yeah. See now, this is so funny that I just watched the video on this a couple of days ago, so it's like fresh in my head now. If I remember, her name was actually like Lucy or something like that, but the boy's name was never revealed. And
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of different videos on it. This one was just one that I pulled up that interested me. It had a few good animations in it.
Them over a golf course and through a hedge until he ended up in a swampy field next to Sandown Airport. As they entered the field, the wailing noise stopped, so they decided to explore the area. Nearby was a narrow stream with a wooden bridge crossing it. As they walked across the bridge, a 3-fingered hand wearing a blue glove rose up.
That's symbolic as well. There's a lot of it's quite alien, isn't it? Having 3 fingers.
Yeah, the 3 fingers in specific. Yeah.
Yeah, no thumb, just 3 fingers. Yeah.
Up from underneath. The hand was attached to a strange figure who emerged from underneath the bridge holding a book. He dropped the book into the water and spent some time splashing about trying to retrieve it. The description of this person or creature is highly unusual, and I'll quote it exactly as it was first reported. He was nearly 7 feet tall and had no neck, for his head appeared to be wedged straight onto his shoulders. He wore a...
Now that.
No
Well, what do you make of that? It's kind of like
sandown.
Yeah,
how do you say the first part? The clown.
Sandown, otherwise known
Yellow
as something
pointed hat.
Sam or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
All Colour Sam.
All Color Sam. Yeah.
There's a weird series that I catch every now and then that's about like clowns and like demons being like real like similar and have all kinds of like crossover and the weird tales and stuff about them.
Well, you have to remember too, this was the 70s, so they're like the stigma on clowns wasn't as prevalent as it is today. You know what I mean? Like clowns were like they were looked more so fondly upon than they are now. You know, now there's like a big stigma against them. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching another documentary about it, and they showed you like the origins of clans, and it dates back to like ancient Egyptian and Roman times and things like that.
Yeah.
But they trace it to representing this like demon, the wild man they call it, as a European myth. I've got a video I'll put up in a bit. It's
hopping motion with his knees raised up high, and he went into a metal windowless hut. The creature then came out of the hut holding what looked like a black microphone with a white cable. The wailing siren-type sound started up again, but this time it was so loud that the children...
It's definitely like an acid trip, isn't it? If you heard a kid telling you this story, you definitely wouldn't
got scared and they ran away.
I think it was some old perv in a costume or something.
The siren noise, too. The noise is perfect.
Does this video touch on the girl's father?
They mention him, yeah. She tells him about it, and I think he dismisses it. But he saw some stuff himself, like alien sightings or something.
Correct. Yeah, it was really weird. Like the video I saw actually starts off with the father's story and then jumps into this kid thing, and it was really disjointed until it catches up, and you find out that the guy in the beginning of the story was the little girl's father, and yeah, it was weird.
Comes into that a bit later, I think, in the video somewhere along here.
Whatever cultural references they have to try and make sense of it. Meeting some sort of godlike entity or the fabled machine elves. There are so many credible witnesses who report these kind of abductions, and they all follow a similar pattern, but their descriptions of what the creatures come forth in response to his signalling.
Yeah, that was it.
Flew lower to the ground and seemed to shrink. Now there was only 4 lights. Again, he stopped his car, and he spent around 10 minutes signalling to the craft with his torch. The object appeared to weave back and forth in response to his signalling. He then drove to his friend's house, and his friend was also able to see the lights. Later on, he drove to Ryde and lost sight of the craft. But ever since that night, on a number of occasions, he would see single red lights in the sky which would hover nearby or follow his...
Yeah, southern England does get some of the most prominent UFO sightings as well. There's a lot of paranormal activity down there off the coast, which is interesting because the Germans took control of those islands during the Second World War. And they were into a lot of shit like that, weren't they? Black magic and odd stuff. Trying to make UFOs.
tunnel into Antarctica. It's supposed to be a tunnel from Europe
Did
all the way down
Finatra
there.
get abducted? Richard Duke said that's what abducted Finatra. What's happened to him?
I don't know. Last time I saw Finatra, he was just fine. I could be wrong though. But...
He's maybe like in the past.
His car, as if they were observing him. Left him trapped on the cliffs. The surge seems to have been caused by something large under the water. The article describes it as a droning underwater craft, which suggests it emitted some sort of noise. The only thing the man could see, though, were two yellow lights under the surface of the sea, which peered up at him like the eyes of some horrible sea monster.
That sounds like Lovecraft sort of stuff. Cthulhu.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the lights disappeared that the tide went out and he was able to escape from the cliffs. He didn't tell his daughter about any of these experiences, so it's interesting that she had her strange encounter with the clown creature not long after this. I'm not sure whether this means they are related in any way, but the proximity of the red lights is at least a strange coincidence. Something else that interests me about this Sandown clown story is that it follows the pattern of a classic alien abduction. An encounter with a strange humanoid creature who possesses some sort of futuristic technology. He then...
Yeah. There was another Have you heard of the Nephilim?
Of course.
Well, I know what a Nephilim is, but I don't know if you're referring to something specific.
I guess. That might.
I suppose there's a lot of takes on it, isn't there? There's the classic sort of like angel Nephilim, isn't there? Like Christianity.
Yeah, like the half angel, half human Nephilim.
But there's that. A lot of people think that they're linked to clans in some way as well. It's quite interesting.
Really?
Like
I didn't...
That's what I'm saying. That there's a few different people do. Yeah, Nephilim look like clowns. That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Okay, where things take a twist. I was reading this article talking about why do people who take DMT see these jesters and tricksters. And I wanted to mention, and this is just an excerpt from that article, the text. But what I wanted to mention is Joe Rogan, who's got one of the most popular podcasts.
Strangely jester type entities commonly appear in the DMT experience. The spirit molecule. Many participants reported encountering. It's interesting because DMT is linked to your dreams as well, isn't it? It's in your brain naturally.
It's true. See that's what I thought was odd. Like there's this fellow that I know on Twitter that is like always talking about like he's trying to make contact with all the DMT alien entities, quantum, whatever you want to call them, demons, clowns. Now like he's actively doing that and trying to like document it on Twitter, like on video and stuff. And it's just odd because it's like I always see him like posted about it, and I'm like, I don't know. It's odd. It's odd. It's an odd like synchronicity too, because like you haven't like mentioned anything about bringing up Nephilims or clowns or anything, Johnny. So until now,
speak about these entities having these two protrusions from their head. And also, they'll see checkerboard patterns in and around, around these figures or entities, and on message boards like DMT Nexus. People talk.
Checkers as well. Do you know an interesting fact? Like the first American suit. Have you ever heard of Shriners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shriners. Like an offshoot of Freemasons.
Yeah.
Wear a little
The
fez.
first American circus was created by 7 brothers, and they were Shriners. They were part of a thing called the Grand Order of Fools or Jesters. Something like that. And the chessboard sort of checkered print, it relates to Masonic meeting halls, like their floors in their ritual chambers are all like that, like a chessboard.
Yeah, I think what you call it though, like any kind of substance that puts you in a state like that, that's like LSD. I was a very big experimenter of LSD in my high school days. It does something, I think, to your vision that like you see a checkered pattern. Like I remember seeing checkered patterns. Like if I was staring too hard at something, like it would break up into a checkered pattern. I think it's something to do with like something in your brain that does that, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm pretty exclusive. I just read the comment on the screen.
You can extract DMT from many things. Interesting.
That's one of the things I've heard about it, is that it is like so common, but it's like just not known about. Like I heard that like those DarkGift, you know, those like, what do they call them, cattails? Those like, they're like weeds or something over in like ditches.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of them. They have the spikes on, like spiky balls and stuff on them.
Yeah, there's something in that supposedly if you boil it and do God knows what.
Okay, so real quick here, the history of comedy and theater is long, way too long to cover here. It goes back to ancient Egypt, and there's all kinds of splits and offshoots. Hell, miming and clowning are quite a bit alike, but are completely separate in origin. Miming comes from the ancient Greek pantomimus, basically means I mimic all. It was performed by a single person, and yes, was typically silent. They all.
Do you get them in America, mimes?
Mm-hmm.
Like on the street. We get
I mean,
them over here.
not as frequently as like I would say like back in the 70s or 80s, but yeah.
In big cities.
Yeah, they played a big part in Batman '89 actually, because they were pretty big in the cities. Yeah.
I was just about to say that it always makes me think of Tim Burton's Batman when he's got like a little army of mimes.
Yeah.
Also set themselves apart by not wearing masks and allowing women to perform.
What was that, mate?
Oh, I was just saying, like, he was tapping into all that too. If you just with if you think of the Joker, it's all the same. The Joker, the clown, the fool.
There's a lot of hidden symbolism behind it. The fool. In pagan tradition in Britain, there was a ritual where they'd make you dress up as a fool, like back in ancient times. They'd dress you up as a clown, and you'd like lead the procession of this pagan ritual. And at the end of it, you'd end up getting executed. You were called like the king for the day, but you were the sacrifice.
Right.
This eventually led to mumming, a good chunk of silent film.
It's like you ever watched the original Wicker Man with Christopher Lee?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Even though that was kind of exaggerated in the era that it was set, those sort of rituals did actually used to happen like a few hundred years back. We still had a lot of that going on.
Comedy, hell, Charlie Chaplin is probably history's best known mime, and eventually to the odd fellers and face paint we see on the streets today. Also keep in mind, I'm glossing over a lot of stuff here, but you get the point. But if we're talking clowning, we've got to talk about commedia dell'arte, meaning comedy of the profession, a version that grew out of Italy around the 16th century, and this was a game changer for comedic theater. We get slapstick from both He Who Gets Slaps and Laugh Clown Laugh. Fun fact, Chaney's actually my personal favorite actor. Most characters became pantaloon.
There's one called Harlequin. It was the first clown in history to kind of... They started off just wearing white clothes, and then some guy changed them up to make the classic example of what we see as clowns today with the makeup and the... It was interesting.
in origin and basically just means clumsy. As the art form spread, characters changed over time and as they were adapted to other countries. Arlecchino became Harlequin, Pantalone became Pantaloon, and some characters that were just offshoots of the originals, such as Scaramouche, yes, Scaramouche, that Scaramouche, and the Clown. The Clown was a background character until this guy, Joseph Grimaldi, came along in the early 1800s. He made the Clown's costume bright, used flour to whiten his face, and added...
Yeah, that Joseph Grimaldi kind of revolutionized clowns and made them colourful and creepy.
Bright colored makeup on top. You could say that Grimaldi created the modern clown much in the same way that Thomas Nast created the modern Santa Claus. Modern clowns come from several different types of clowning, some based more on the Hopi trickster type used by the Pueblo tribes, or
these ones, the black and white stripy things here, they're worshipped by tribal people, and they're kind of like dream demons, but they're tricksters, like fools.
And that's like Australia.
The nations.
I think
New
it's
Zealand or something.
I think the Hopi are in Africa somewhere, or it might be South American. I'm not sure.
Of European and indigenous clowning, such as the pachinko method, also known as Canadian clowning. Yes, Canadian clowning is a thing, and now you know about it. Clowns were introduced to the circus back when it was pretty much just a horse show, the clowns being used as interstitiary entertainment between the sequences, and they proved so popular that they kept them around as circuses got bigger and added more acts.
I wonder what it is with like humans. They enjoy watching things like that, don't they? Like clowns hurting themselves and being clumsy. It's in human nature, just for us to find it funny. It's strange.
Yeah, I wonder if, like, the way he was just saying how, like, circuses were just like horse shows with clowns. Like, I wonder if rodeos were like an offshoot of that, right? Because the clown is a big part of the rodeo, which is more about bulls, you know. Well, no, I guess there's a lot of horses there. Yeah, I wonder if that's like an offshoot. Like, I'm interested in learning about that.
I've heard something about that, like rodeo clowns. Are they kind of like they're just there to wind the bull up, in they like a matador? Just to,
Well, that like say the bull like bucks the rider off, right? The clown will run out there and in hopes that to try to get the bull's attention and make it chase him, so the rider has time to, like, you know, get up, get oriented, and get out of there, or if it's hurt, you know, for people to get out there and help him, you know.
Just a distraction tactic.
Yeah.
Idiots hurting themselves.
Coincidences.
Always been funny.
Stripe patterns, and they have these headdresses with these protrusions, and you start looking at some of the figures associated with these rituals, and it looks just like these entities, these stripes, the protrusions, pale face, and you just kind of got to wonder what's going on. And then you find
prison stripes too.
It is, isn't it? It's very much like that.
Yeah, all those ones where it was just black and white stripes, like those are definitely like where they got prison stripes from. All that stuff.
Kosher is a sacred clown of the Hopi, one that you're likely to see at the Katsina ceremonies. He is one of several clowns which are sometimes called jesters or tricksters. And they say the Koshers are sacred entities of the Pueblo world. But
rodeo is still a
so you can see the protrusions, the stripes. I what's put forward in the series, and I wouldn't be surprised if these are indeed real entities that are non-physical. And the Pueblos were interacting with these entities. And it's the same entities that people who take DMT are encountering. And it's not just an archetype. It's not the collective.
It interests me that a lot of people that have done these psychedelic trips, they kind of, it all kind of adds up. They've had different experiences seeing these kind of creatures in their visualizations.
It's true. They all eventually become like the same. They're not seeing like vastly different creatures. Like when they make contact with something that like talks back to them, like it's not. They're all the same sort of thing that they see.
Yeah.
In movies, right? We got the Mad Hatter, Alice in Wonderland, the main the main character, pale face, red hair. You had also in that movie the Red Queen, pale faced, and I believe in the background you had this jester here figure with the pale face protrusions, and also we look at McDonald's and Ronald McDonald's and the Hamburglar. They got their stripes, and of course you got the Mad Hatter with the hat, who seems to be sort of
that was another dream type demon, wasn't it? Have you heard about that, the Hat Man?
No, I mean I don't know too much about it. Like I only know of it in reference to because somebody else has made the connection to Freddy Krueger.
It was a thing where a lot of people kept having the same nightmares about a shadowy man with a black hat, and their descriptions of it, like different people that didn't know each other, and they described it and got someone to kind of like draw it, and they were all pretty much like exactly the same. And I think the guy who wrote Nightmare on Elm Street, he kind of got inspiration with that. And there was a lot of people dying in their sleeps as well at the time. There was some sort of phenomenon where young kids were actually dying in their dreams. And I guess it was like a blend of that, like.
Right.
That's another fascinating thing as well, how you can actually, scientists have said that you can die in a dream or a nightmare, and it shocks the body and the brain into thinking that you are actually dying for real. So it is kind of like dying in your sleep is a thing. It's like you could envision your own death in a dream.
Yeah.
Work yourself into a fit.
Yeah.
Give yourself a heart attack or something. Ronald McDonald had killed more people than Pennywise and Freddy Krueger combined. Is that
heart attacks?
Is that must be. I suppose that I guess if you want to, Mr. Self-Destruct says sort of relates to the shadow people. Oh yeah, the shadow people. People always. Yet, did you see? You must have. We might have even talked about it before that. The Mothman Prophecies, the movie, where they're talking to like one of these researchers and all the aliens and the Mothman or whatever the hell it's supposed to be. He's like, you can look and look, and it's like once you see them or once you notice them, then they notice you, and then it's just like they're like it's not like it comes and like fixes things. So. It's a creepy movie, like just with the.
That's what Richard Gere, right?
Yeah, and not even involving like any of his, his antics or anything. It was just the way it's like the what is it, thematic? Like the way the camera angles are and the shadows and everything, like the way it moves through everything is like just very.
And he's got a hat on, so just
unsettling.
Sort of a interesting side note, but
they got a new Beetlejuice coming out as well, haven't they?
We have Beetlejuice, right?
It looks quite good, actually. I'm glad they used the same actor.
He's this pale-faced character who is a troublemaker, and he's irreverent. A lot of these same characteristics just keep popping up, and I wanted to show you a 25-second clip from this series that I saw, and it's going to be somebody who's drawing a demon, and as he's drawing it and showing it, there's a manifestation that happens in the video, and it's going to have some relation to this image that you're seeing with Beetlejuice here. So let's take a quick look at that short clip. Okay, so it's really grainy and it's low quality here, but this person's showing a drawing that he did of a demon that he saw, And as he's doing it, you get this, something is materializing behind him, and it looks like it's attached to him, and it's got that stripe pattern, and it's going to disappear from the camera. And I'll let this run once more. And it's sort of behind him here. You could just sort of,
Those little black and white spots.
as he's showing this picture of a demon he drew, you sort of have something that seems to be
That's weird.
materializing behind him. And I can't speak to the veracity of this video, but I found it pretty interesting. So I just wanted to show it with you guys, and it's going to disappear once more here. So what I did was I just took a snapshot on the left from that video, and on the right you have Beetlejuice. And if it is indeed a legitimate video, it's interesting that you've got some entity appearing that seems to host many carnivals, but the Carnival of Basel is the biggest carnival in Switzerland, and people dressing up as clowns, and of course UNESCO's involved, and they want to preserve that cultural heritage. Makes sense. But yeah, here's just an image from that carnival, and you know, why do we do this, right? Like, why do we dress up like clowns? The specific type of clown with the stripes and the pale face. And of course you got clowns in hospitals. Clown care, also known as hospital clowning, involves visits from in healthcare facilities, involving visits from specially trained clowns. Now I should mention, you know, a lot of good is done.
I think he goes on to tell you that not all clans are evil.
Oh, it's obvious. You can detect bias pretty easily with those sorts of people. Like,
It's a whole profession as well, isn't it? There's actually people that are like registered clans, especially in America.
Yeah. It's
You
true.
have to register.
Yeah, they're part of like a union. They got cards and everything.
Yeah. No, it's true. I don't remember the name of the organization, but I did caricature drawings for a charity that was based around this organization of clowns. It was weird, but it was fun. I did it 3 years in a row down at one of the boardwalks. But yeah, they were all, it was like a union of sorts. Yeah, it's weird.
The World Clan Association. There it is. Here we are. Membership. Why do you want to be a clan?
Choose us. Okay. Where? Oh, I know where I saw it. I was thinking. Go ahead. I'm looking for a.
See, they're proper organised. They make a lot of money, clans. But they got their own insurance as well, clan insurance. '25 convention. It's in Dallas, Texas. You lot could go to that. They got a clan convention this year.
What time of a year is it?
It's gone. March the 3rd.
2025.
No, it's next year.
Next year.
The early bird rate is $225.
Fucking hell. I wonder what the late bird rate is. Scholarships, clan scholarships.
Okay, here.
Yeah, there's like clown academies and stuff like that.
Okay, here. I'll show you what I was immediately thought of here. You'll like this. Okay. So, I don't know if the font. Oh, I gotta hit the font.
Clowns can look rather intimidating if you see a lot of them in one place. Be sure to choose a partner. 2 clowns together are really great. If you attempt to make visits with 3 or 4, you outnumber the person so much that they may feel a bit uneasy. A Couple of cautions. Don't fulfill any request that is made of you by a patient. One reason is simply this. The elderly really receive you quite well. I think it's because they already know how vulnerable they are. They're lonely, and they long for touch. If they're in need of touch, you touch them.
Touch them.
There are a few common sense rules that every clown ought to be aware of before planning to go into a nursing home. First, call the activities director or the manager of the institution and get permission to come. Second, if it's your first time, plan.
Get permission to come. Remember, that is essential. Key. Before you go into the old folks' home. Uh-oh. There's somebody. Oh, that's your thing over there. Okay. Oh, geez, I haven't pushed this thing.
Are you trying to make a demon manifest behind you there, Johnny?
Yo, we're drawing the sandown clan. Started drawing him.
Oh, fantastic.
Just doodling.
All right. All right. Yes,
Where's your thing gone, Ben? Oh, there it is. Ah.
Hmm? Yeah, I pulled that out of there. You want me to pull up the pictures I had? I mean, I should like that. Probably
Yeah, I forgot about them. Yeah, have you still got them on your computer?
Yeah, here. I'll show you
That'd be interesting.
that. If I could share this screen. That one. Yeah. All right.
Right.
I only got the one. What is it doing? It's just stuck on there. Why? There. Okay. So what all these pictures are, right? Like everybody knows what Photoshop is. Go in, you can make look at how big that rabbit is. You know, that's not a real rabbit. Well, I mean, it's real, but it's not really that big. It's on top of the car. But this is from, you know, whatever year this is from, like 1920 or something, right? And all these other photos back then, they were doing this constantly, doing the same thing we do with
Well, these are real sort of put together photoshops from back in the day, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that from when photography started, you know, obviously this one, that's is that Reagan? I can't tell. One of them, you know, he had one of the guys moved out of the picture. The same thing with Stalin. You know, it's like people don't talk about it, but like everybody knows about it. Like, yeah, like Stalin had like I don't know. I can't read German, so I don't want to leave it on there too long. But yeah, you know, like everyone knows like that Stalin would have like people erased out of the pictures. And that was in what, the 40s or it wasn't the 50s, it was the 40s. But even back in like the 1850s, this is still all.
It must have took a lot of work back then. They must have had to cut through the negatives because it was all like negative frames, wasn't it?
Well, so it shows them here. Yeah, see, there's Stalin with commie mark, and then no commie mark. Young commie mark is gone. It shows you how they did them. Where's it at? Like this one, you can tell like this one's like fake, like layered in different parts of the photo. You know, I don't know if you can see that or not. Like if that's just once you start going extra crazy, you know. But it shows in one of these how they had like the different layers of where they would construct a scene, right? Like the same way, if you ever see how they did like Dark Crystal and stuff, where they have like the big matte painted backgrounds.
Yeah.
that was a huge thing with all these photos, and how they would go in and like color them. They would use pencil, like just fix tiny things, or obviously, put in like giant fish. There's all this stuff with like kids back then, like all these weird like Cabbage Patch Kids, moving with zeppelins. This one is from the Civil War, right? The United States Civil War, and is in fact also a composite picture. It's not, this isn't like just one picture of like this dude at the front of like the giant battlefield. I can't read even with glasses on, so I can't really tell you what that says. But all these words look like someone was highlighting them for some important reason. With oh yeah, they go in batches too. Like bringing home the big fish, the one that didn't get away. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's all.
I wonder if they've done it for like propaganda purposes back in the old days.
Oh, definitely.
Trick the public into thinking there's giant fish and things like that.
That was part of the whole, what do they call them? Spirit pictures. That might be some of these where like they would get a picture taken. Oh, that was supposed to be Abraham Lincoln and Jefferson Davis, and showing that like they had just switched the heads on this picture. Like it's all like it's just the same thing. Like if you look at it, it's the exact same. I can't remember which one they said they traded from this one to that one in the picture, but
it must have, because they didn't have the technology like apps and things back then. They must have literally like hand cut the head out and put it over the negative. It's really interesting.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they were doing all this just immediately. Like that was who like Harry Houdini was, right?
Yeah.
Like he was the escape artist. And like one of the other things he was really big into was like disproving spiritualists, right? Like if they were so there's just like propaganda images, I guess is what you would call that. That would be
yeah, he was very much like who's that guy you got in America who does all he's like a extreme he's like a magician type guy. And he used to put himself in like a box and stuff. David Blaine, is that it? David Blaine.
Yeah. Or Chris Angel.
He's a good one. Chris Angel.
Yeah, this one is like a whole, like it's like the court of whatever the Germans or something. Whoever, you know what I'm saying? But you can tell that it's like all these images were all cut out and pasted into like the final image, or like however, like there's different ways that they do the negatives and all that stuff, but they were doing all that like just immediately once they started doing photography, at least in the 1800s, 1900s. Yeah, so that's all these really are. It's just.
When was the first photograph taken, do you reckon? It must have been like you said, early 1800s, maybe? Mid 1800s?
DarkGift, do you...
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was clearing my throat.
Oh, okay. They were like, the first photograph was taken in 1803. Oh, don't
it was
you know?
Of me.
I believe there's like some kind of like even like crazier story. Like several people came up with photographs
at
the same time, which
If you ask, first ever
I'm gonna pull
first
this
ever
up.
photograph was taken by Joseph Nicephore Nepesi in 1826 or 1827, but no photograph from that earlier survived. Interesting.
Oh, okay, yeah, here. Yeah. That's okay. Oh, he looks like one of those guys you were saying that doesn't have a neck or whatever. Looks like he turns, he's just got to move everything. But yeah, so what is this even saying? The first photograph was 1826.
Yeah, that's when they said the first one was taken.
Right.
But none of them have survived, so I don't know if they can prove it.
Right, like how could you? Well, and that's the entire point of like showing all these for me is like show that like all this like like being able to trust like old photos, like it's not the case. They could do all the same shit we do now. Look at that. Like that's a flying dolphin or whatever. Like it's legit. It looks like something that like Cyber Frog would like be making out with in those ponds or whatever, like look at that. Oh, this you can't drive the chicken here.
That kind of looks like it's something the AI would make.
That's what I'm saying. It's all, and this wasn't like AI stuff. That's what I'm saying.
People haven't changed throughout history. You'll always get one odd person that comes up with some trippy psychedelic idea. I bet even in medieval times there was some mad peasant going around, like coming up with radical things. They thought, oh, let's just make some really random pictures to freak everyone out. There was that, was it H.G. Wells, the fake alien landing, big hoax?
Yeah, was that H.G.
They done
Wells
like
or Orson Welles?
Yes, that's it. Sorry, Orson Welles. Yeah. You managed to trick everyone into a mass panic just from doing a good show on a radio, like an act.
This one, let me see if I can zoom in on it like a little bit. Like this one is supposed to be from 1857, the 2 Ways of Life, and it's all photography, but it's like it says that there's like 30 some like plates that they use, like 30 like negative plates that they used in order to make the image, and that's in like 1857. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's just crazy. Like 1826, they just figure it out, and then 30 years later,
you got Matt Barr asking if you're streaming tonight.
Yeah, I answered. I said not tonight. Yeah.
Sorry.
I took a little vacation. Like I just kind of came back from my little internet vacation. I did a chill stream yesterday, and I'm gonna get back into the swing of like my weekly stuff. Starting Wednesday, we'll do Slumlords, and then Thursday I have a new show called Indie Cockfight, which is a drawing competition, one-on-one drawing competition.
Yeah, I saw that. The one that was a bit like that, the other one that Dillard does. I watched that one. That was good.
Oh, the Scribbattle. Yeah, that's more like for the audience that's like Pictionary, like for the audience. This is going to be one-on-one, like shit talking between the artists and stuff.
We did
heckling from the chat.
I did want now that I've got you here, I'm gonna leave the creepy lady out, like unless Jonny takes her down. help back me up. Okay, so how will you determine if a super chat is too far that would interrupt a contestant? I don't mean in particular anyone. I just mean
I'm just gonna tell the chat in the beginning of each show. I guess I'll be like, listen, let's not get personal, between like the shit talking between the contestants and from the chat and the heckling from the chat. Let's not get personal. Let's keep it, yeah, like rated R. Let's not get X-rated with it. Okay, you know what I mean?
I think most people in Comicsgate have got quite thick skin. They can take a bit of banter, but like you said, it's when people start getting spiteful and personal, and you don't need it.
Yeah, because even if you're just joking, the other person might not take it that way, or maybe you're touching on a subject that you don't know about or something. So, yeah, I'm just gonna try to keep it very tame. Not tame. Tame's not the right word because I want it to get crazy, but I don't want it to get to the point where people don't want to come back on the show. You know what I mean? Let's make it so that they want to come back. Yeah.
Someone was screaming at me. They called me
They called me a whore, or they called me a wife beater, or you know what I mean? I don't need that kind of. Let's not get carried away, people. Let's, So, but we got the first 3 episodes. Nice, we got a nice lineup, and I'm working on the 4th one now. We got Dillard versus Rini, Elasmat versus Narwhal, Peter Gilmore versus Jason Bascom, and I'm working on Matt Barr versus Jim O'Reilly. No, it's gonna be live. They're gonna be live, and at the end, we'll put a poll in the chat and see who wins.
Fight the old Dugaroo.
Yeah. Listen, everybody knows it's going to be a popularity contest, right? Whoever has the most followers in the chat is going to win. I mean, that's just how it's going to go. Even if the other drawing's better, it's just so that's why it's we're going to allow the smack talking and the heckling, and the contestants can smack talk the chat, and it's just going to be fun, and then they get to show off their skills. And if they're doing traditional, we'll even let them auction off the piece at the end of the show. If they're doing digital, maybe they want to auction off a one of a kind print or something like that. You know what I mean?
I really like the super chat distraction idea, because I mean that is you know what I mean? Imagine if I know if I text Jonny that there's a sale on, I don't know, baseball bats or something, and he's like, what? And then I know that's going to distract him for a few moments, take him out of the game. Then I can bet against him and get the other person. You know what I'm saying? There's so much at play there.
Yeah. Tactical.
Yeah, I like it, DJ. Definitely.
It's gonna be fun.
Thing it's coming across a lot smoother than
the whole gentrification thing. I see you were watching. Yeah, that slums are being gentrified.
Yeah. I look like some nice tennis court kind of stuff. I like that. It was, it's very, very. That's and then the betting, side betting on the cockfights. I mean,
you got the soul of an English gentleman, haven't you, Ben? I think in a past life you were like a Victorian noble.
I could probably do that pretty well. And and this is the thing too, DarkGift. I don't want you to think that I'm trying to throw shade on you about the cockfights. You're familiar with a comic book publisher called Fantagraphics, aren't you?
Yes.
Several of their cartoonists have often remarked that there are dog fights that happen behind the not the warehouse, but behind there's a little store in Seattle that's the Fantagraphics store.
Yeah.
I've heard several of the people that would know. You know what I mean? People that were there working for Fantagraphics saying that they have dog fights there.
Like legit dog fights?
I don't know. How would I know? You know what I mean? Once you start asking questions, and then if they're not legal in Seattle for Fantagraphics to be, I don't, you know what I mean? Like then once I start typing in a question, is dog fighting legal in Seattle? Then that's in my search history. Then they're looking at me. I bought a book from Fantagraphics. Now I'm looking up the dog fighting prices. You know what I'm saying? That's how they get you. So that's what I don't. You know, I don't try to. If I can't confirm it, I don't put a name to it. You know, but
right. Well, thankfully we've commandeered with his blessing. Michael Bancroft's COC, creator-owned comics, and that's what Yeah, so
excellent.
Cockfight is actually, what do they call that when it's like, like COC or
syllables?
No, but like initials, I guess. But like we're actually saying the word. We're not spelling it out. So when you take like the first letter of each word and make a word out of it, I forget what that's called. Why am I drawing a blank on that?
An acronym.
An acronym. Thank you.
That's why Johnny's running the show.
Cockfighting's quite popular amongst the gangster underworld in Britain. There's a lot of it. Make a lot of money on it. Dog fighting as well, like pit bulls and stuff like that.
I'm trying to see if there's more.
It's obviously illegal, but it still goes on quite regularly.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, they're like kind of. Yeah, you know how all that stuff works. I'm not dog fighting in Minecraft.
In Minecraft, exactly.
Do they have dog fighting in Minecraft? They have to, I would imagine. Like,
I guess you can just make it, right?
Hey, have you got any dogs?
Who, me?
Do you have any of you have dogs, or have you had a dog before?
I have three. I have 3 huskies.
Oh, nice. They're nice dogs. I like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have dogs myself, so.
Did you train them quite well then, your huskies? Were they loyal to you?
Yes. One a little too well. She can be very protective of me. But for the most part, she's a sweetheart. Like, you know what I mean? And now that she's getting older, her social threshold is a little lower than it used to be. Like my friend's kid, they're older kids. But my friend was over with their kids, and like they were playing with the dogs. And then at one point, my dog was like, "Okay, I'm the one dog." She was like, "I'm done," and she went and laid on the couch. And then when one of the kids went over to pet her, and she like gave a little growl, like "Leave me alone." And I was like, I mean, she's done for the night, guys. You bet. There's 2 more dogs out there, still wanting to play. So,
I've had a few dogs. I used to have Have you ever seen English Bull Terriers? Ones with like the American football sort of shaped heads.
Yes.
I used to have a lot of them when I was younger, and Staffordshire Bull Terriers. And now I've got like a little mongrel Jack Russell rat, like a cross. He's a horrible little thing. Little grumpy old man he is.
Yeah. Well, the one that's very protective of me, like I had a girlfriend that lived here, and she did not like her at all. With good reason.
Yeah,
she wound up being very psychotic, my ex-girlfriend. I had to get her like kicked out of the house by the cops.
Right.
But
I had an ex like that. Tried stabbing me with a kitchen knife.
Oh yeah, well this one threatened to kill my dogs, so yeah.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. I was like, I'll take a knife to the chest any day. You leave my dogs alone.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she would get out of bed to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and then like the one dog wouldn't let her back in the room. She would just growl and bark at her and stuff.
That's quite a common occurrence with dogs. When you live on your own and you've got like a dog of the opposite sex, they get protective over you because they think they're like the alpha of your house. Like
She is the alpha. What you call it? Now that she's getting a little older, she's kind of submitted the role to the younger one. But was still like kind of be like, you kind of like, you're not doing that quite right. Let mom take over, because they're literally a family. It's like I had her, and then I adopted the male, and then they both weren't fixed, and I made the appointment to get them fixed, and the next morning he got her at 7:00 in the morning on the front lawn when I let them out, and we had a litter. And I got homes for 7 of them, and I kept one. So, yeah.
Fair play.
This other thing here. Oh, I was just gonna say this other thing is like all these clouds, like the skies are all the same in all these postcards.
Oh wow! Yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah.
They're all made by the same company. That's what I'm saying. It's like all this just weird
fake backdrops.
Yeah. It's just, and it's like this is the people found, like, they went and collected all the different postcards and whatnot. So that's all, they got just boxes of them, and they're all like this. They all just have the same. Sometimes they'll move them around a little bit, but it's always the.
It's like they just got lots of little cutouts and they just mix and match them.
Yeah, or like just maybe like a couple different like clouds, or like maybe like a big cloud section that they just kind of move around. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's insane. But it's just like I said, like how they were all. I think this is showing like how they would scratch off stuff to clean up pictures and whatnot, clean up the negatives or something. Yeah, I don't know. So that's all I got, is that we can't trust history. Oh, this is true. So these are the effects that we can tell are just not real. But then, yeah, this is like showing how they have the different plates, etc.
That sounds nasty. I've been to a cockfight in Oklahoma once. Won a little bit of money. Shit was wild. Razor blade spurs. Fucking hell.
Holy shit.
That's over the top. I've seen them put little metal things on the beaks, like sharp little beak protectors. Where did you come up with these pictures, Ben? Must have been an odd website.
Yeah, this is weird. So this is how they used to do like the effects back in the day, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think he's they're saying back in before like computer technology and stuff like that, people must have been splicing photos together. Because if these are legit photos from the time, then it's clever stuff. It's like, because they didn't have it, they couldn't scan a picture. It was all just on negatives, and you've got to be, as you lot know, you had to like cut the negatives and stick them together and stuff like that. It's very intricate.
Turns out Photoshop was a thing even in the 19th century. Anxiety is literally just conspiracy theories. But, whoa, what the hell is that?
I've got a new Billy Tucci comic in the post today. Well, it's not new. It's from like 1996. It's Year of the Dragon. Some brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely. I looked at, it's the first one I got from Billy Tucci.
That's one of the only ones I don't have. Is Year of the Dragon.
Yeah, it's quite an old one, I think. But the artwork in it's strangely unique. It's almost like it's got like a manga feel, but it's not manga. So I like how he keeps the skin white on most of the characters.
That looks like Tucci's artwork. I don't know if was the rest of the book drawn by Tucci?
No, it says Tucci and Con. Tucci Con. So I'm guessing it's both of them, or Tucci might have done just the story.
Yeah, maybe. Because I think some of them he didn't draw. Most of them he did though. I actually ordered a bunch off of eBay. And they like the majority of the ones that I ordered, and I was getting them for like $2 a pop. You know, they were all signed with certificates of authenticity.
Yeah, beautiful. I like collecting comics. There's still loads that I've collected that I haven't quite read yet. I'm still.
Oh.
Still got to get round to reading them.
Oh yeah, I have a stack. of just Comicsgate books sitting over there that I still have to read. Richard Duke says you can block out light from the negative onto paper and blank areas out, or lighten or darken. Yeah.
Right. I wonder if there's anything about it. So edited. Yeah, I think you stumbled across something there, Ben, because I'm looking it up and I can't find anything about it. About people editing pictures back in the old days.
Ben's muted.
My finger, like, bruh, that was me. Like, all the pictures I got from Mind Unveiled, right? They have like it was like an episode all about the just that, you know, like old timey Photoshop stuff, like how they did it, and like they talked about all of it and went like, you know, all the details that like I'm just not gonna remember anyway, you know. Like, so I went through that and just like took a bunch of like screenshots while they were showing stuff. But
the history. What's this? This nonsense. History of photo editing.
So what did we before when we said it was 1826?
1826. Yeah, that's the official that they
Right.
claim. But I'm sure that there's been people saying that photos were around before.
That's what I'm. Did you watch that? What was it called? The Green Knight, the movie, The Green Knight, that came out just 1 or 2 years ago. It was real like surreal and like just it was like definitely like an Arthurian like fantasy movie, but it was like if Joe Dorowski or somebody had like done one, right? And they have the part where he gets his picture like photographed basically, and it's through like a they call it like a camera obscura. They might have a different name for it in the movie. It's like that thing that the other fellow was saying, where like you block out the shadows with like pinholes and stuff like that. Like, yeah, what
this is an example, look, of the first photoshopping. This woman had a fat neck and they got rid of it.
Nice.
They made her neck disappear. He looks happy to have his photo taken. Very proud. It was a big event back then, wasn't it? It was like you had to dress up and everything. It's mad how photos nowadays they're just normal, aren't they? Everyone takes them on their phones and stuff like that. It was kind of like a big event when the cameras were first around. Have a big family photo.
Well, like some of them weren't even like those daguerreotypes or however it's pronounced, are like they're like metal. You know what I mean? Like the pictures, like it's just like a little piece of like tin or something, and that's what the picture is on. Like it's not even paper or whatever. So it's.
Hey, Dylan's in the chat. What's up, Dylan?
Oi, Dillard. He came on before. I like Dillard. He's cool. He's a chilled out lad.
Good peeps.
What's happening with the Slumlords then? Have you still got two shows now? Like you split it, didn't you? You got the CG Slumlords and the Slumlords. Is that right?
So yeah. So when we started the show, there's a gentleman who's been around for a while, but he was actually he had some personal stuff. So he was kind of gone for like 18 months, and his channel was actually CG Slums. So when he came back, people were getting confused between the channel and the show, and like they were like, wait, there's two CG Slums, and I'm like, well, this is called the CG Slum Lords, and that's called the CG Slums. So it was like, I was like, you know what, I'll just change it to Slum Lords, so this way. And then at which point he took it upon himself to call it CG Slums Outer Pangea. So he started changing the name, and I had already like re-edited everything, and I was like, well, I'm not changing it back, So, so yeah, because Pangea is a reference to their. They had a show called a couple of years ago called the Trash Compactor Show, and their Discord was called Pangea, so that's why he called it CG Slums Outer Pangea. So,
Pangea was the theoretical mass of all the continents. Is that right? Where all the continents were all smushed together. Was that Pangea?
I think so. Yeah.
I see the 2000 ADs, yeah. I've got lots of Judge Dredds behind me. The annuals, all the old annuals I've been collecting, like the hardback ones. Have any of you guys ever actually read any Judge Dredd comics or stories? Or 2000 AD?
I read a couple of issues back in the day, but what you call it? Not enough to be like up on like Judge Dredd lore.
It's an original universe. It's good to look into it. There's a lot of really like unique characters. I'm not even a big sci-fi fan, to be honest, but for like the 2000 AD comics do sort of like lure me in, and most of them are kind of sci-fi, futuristic, apocalyptic.
What is the Judge Death? Is he supposed to be like a zombie or a ghost or
Judge
something?
Death was kind of he was a judge. He got possessed by witches. He done a ritual with these 3 witches. It was kind of like a Macbeth sort of trope. and he became a judge. Judge Death believes that anyone that's alive is committing a crime. He said if you just kill people, then there won't be no crime. So that's kind of his philosophy.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
He sort of comes back as a zombie type thing, I guess. He's like undead.
Yeah, because I remember I read that I had the like Batman Judge Dredd by like was it Alan Grant and Simon Bisley?
That's when they team up in it. I think they team up with Judge Death. There's there's 3 other dark judges as well. You've got a few other ones. There's a little league of them, but Judge Death's the main one.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It was fun stuff. It sticks in your brain, definitely. Like
some really strange, odd characters in it. Because it's obviously, even though it's a British comic book company, it's kind of heavily set in an alternate kind of America, like Mega City. That Mega City 1 is very like I guess it's like New York or something like that.
Okay.
And you've got different mega cities all around the world. There's about 9 of them that have survived this like end of the world nuclear explosion type thing. I think there's one in Japan. You got Brit City, which is in Britain. But they only really focus the stories mainly on like the Mega City 1, Brit City. The Japanese one's got a few stories, and there's a Russian Mega City as well, I think.
And they all the mega, like the judges are like the cops for all of them, so it's like the same.
Yeah,
they probably like a little bit mixed up for Japanese or whatever, but like for
in their world, you don't have normal police. I guess there's kind of like low-level security guards and stuff like that, but everyone, the police are judges, so you don't have courts. You kind of get judged on the spot. They're the police and the judges at the same time. They've got a lot of power. That's why if one of them goes corrupt, it could be very bad because he could just go around killing people for no reason. They've got like levels of crimes. Like they won't just kill you for doing minor crimes. They'll give you warnings. Judge Fire, Fear, and Mortis. Yeah, that was the other ones. I think Fear is a bit like sort of Scarecrow. He kind of gets in your head, gives you visions and stuff.
It's not like they're not like superhero stories. It's more like they're just like
they're not superheroes. I guess it's like, more
almost like
it's
horror,
more just like a dystopian world, I guess.
Dystopia, yeah.
A lot of robotics and futuristic equipment. It's like a post-apocalyptic world.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. You'll like it. It's good. But there's a lot of offshoots as well. Like in their universe, there's other characters. I mentioned one in one of the other shows that it was their gay character, Devlin Noir. He's like a vampire hunter, but he's also been bit by a vampire, so he's like a goody vampire, and he's very camp and openly gay. But he's kind of like, it was before things were woke, if you get what I mean. It's not really like focusing. It's more like it's funny. It's kind of funny.
Right. Well, there's like a difference. You know who John Waters is? He did Hairspray and Pecker and all those movies. What was it? Pink Flamingos? That's the old one he did.
I've heard of him.
He was like, just did all his weird films like from the 60s on, and it was all, all the same stuff that everyone's going crazy about now. But like, I mean, some of them are like, like kind of like in your face, but it wasn't. I don't know. There was something that just changed because like Pink Flamingos came out in like 67, 68, something way back, and it was like fucking out there for them. It's like still it, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know what changed that made him like go from being just like normal to just being this like crazy, insane, angry. Nice.
Yeah, it was an interesting comic because he was sort of like a really good fighter going around fighting the undead, but then he had like a peaceful side where he liked arranging flowers and stuff like that. He was an odd character. And you had the Coca-Cola Commandos as well. That was another big story from 2000 AD. They were like a rebel group that went against the government, but they sort of what's going on?
It's the Rippaverse.
How the hell did you do that?
This is what happens. We get hacked every week. Every week something happens.
Yeah, like, you opened the portal to the Rippaverse, Ben. Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's every week there's something that happens, and I never see anything happen on other ones at all. Like any of this stuff, even people getting freeze. Like it's not. It comes at weird moments. It's might be the haunted stream of Comicsgate.
Serial killer Cecil. Look, people keep saying I'm like Cecil. I don't see it. I'm nothing like him.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah.
Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know.
Well, I think I don't know how to say it, but almost like in like a speech pattern, like in like the sort of like not like the way like your words sound, but like the kind of like the rhythm of them. You know how like some people talk and they talk like real fast, or like I talk way too slow. You know what I mean? Like I try to always like tell myself to talk faster because like people don't want to hear me just like you know. But like Cecil's got like a kind of it's you know like that sort of like radio announcer kind of like cadence or whatever, you know.
He's very clean spoken, isn't he? For a New Yorker, he's quite well spoken.
And that's what I'm saying with you. You've got like a you know, like the presenter, like the host, the
mask.
You know, like that. Yeah.
I suppose he wears a mask as well. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Kind of. Did he start off wearing a full mask then, Cecil?
I believe so. I think DG would probably know better.
It was different.
That was like longer, like a whole one, and then he's like slowly rolled it up or something. I came in when it was already like here.
Yeah.
I'm a bit disappointed with him lately. I like him. I like Cecil, but he's sort of like fence sitting with the whole Eric July stuff. It's kind of disappointing.
Well, you know, they
he was a man of conviction, but it's kind of like I don't like people like that just won't. They want to please everyone and try and keep the peace. Just be honest. But yeah, not that I don't like him, but he's just disappointing me a bit. I thought he's quite funny, Cecil.
Well,
I kind of feel his pain though, because like sometimes like I want to just stay out of the stupid stuff, and yeah, people get mad at me.
They're staying out of it, but then when people are just blatantly wrong and it's affecting your community to a point where it's kind of like you can't get rid of it. You need to at least speak your mind. You can't just. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I thought that he's it was that show the other night, the Jack show, when he said about I don't. He said about not hating Isom enough to be mad, and I don't think it's just about Isom with Eric July, isn't it? It's gone past that. He's about his attitude and his whole sort of spiel. He's not a very nice person.
Yeah, but to me, it's like he's not Comicsgate, so like I don't know.
Oh,
yeah,
He's not Comicsgate, but he's a very big part of it because people won't shut up about him. So we kind of make him Comicsgate in a weird way.
Right, yeah.
Everyone in Comicsgate knows who he is. He's like the Comicsgate villain, isn't he?
Well, let me ask. This is I don't want to.
You ask away, mate. Anything, Ben. I'll always be honest with you, mate.
This was what the Saska sisters posted this morning. Good morning and happy Palm Sunday. May God bless you and your loved ones.
Oh, good God! That's just a troll. That's just a trolling post.
Well, I mean, that's possible. That's possible. But, you know, like, I don't want to possibly push them away by questioning that they've made a public statement of faith.
Oh, I very much hope they have, thank God. It might
I mean, they may have, be finally like starting to see like, oh man, you know, all the weird piss, vomit, porn stuff is not the right way to go.
To me, the Rippaverse sort of business structure is very cult-like. Seems like everyone who works for it has to like love everything. They have to keep their mouth shut and support the great leader.
Does seem a little bit of that. And so that's what I mean, is like that's a common thing too for people that go from one cult to another. You know, like if you come out of one cult, you're like, well, now I got to find someone else. Like, you know, Jim Jones isn't around anymore, and I got out. I don't know what to do. Where's DarkGift? Where could maybe he could help me figure out? You know what I mean? Like, you immediately go to like anyone.
Well, yeah.
But
the whole, I don't know, the whole Comicsgate versus Rippaverse thing.
Yeah, that's the point I was trying to make, Mr. Self-Destruct. It's funny to hear people saying, I'm friends with Eric, so I'm not going to talk about that. Like, no offense, but how can you be friends with someone like that? That shows that you're a bit of a bad person yourself, to be honest. If you choose to have someone like that as a friend, then there's something wrong with you.
I've got no allegiance to Eric, but I do have people that I know that like are, I guess, his fans. You know, that I'm friends with, and they're like me. They're like, man, I don't want to be fighting with Comicsgate, and I'm like, man, I don't want to be fighting with Rippaverse people. You know, so we all just kind of keep our heads down and like, you know, just kind of stay out of the way, you know, watch for the falling debris, you know.
What? Like, I feel there's like kind of like, you know, like there's a certain, you can like play with stuff, but like you don't want to like try and like fuck over people's money, you know, like Dillard's, right? Dillard's is working for Yellow Flash, and there's all I don't care whatever his deal is, you know what I'm saying? Like that's other people's shit, not mine, you know what I mean? But
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if we're against Rippaverse, does that mean we have to hate Dillard for the like all this energy could be taken and turned on fucking IDW? It could be turned on like Dynamite, any one of these little companies, and we could just like start getting more scalps.
You're right, because there's a lot of cool artists that have done a bit of work for Eric July. That don't make you a bad person. I don't blame them for getting the money. That don't necessarily mean they like him as a person, does it? It's just, but there's some of them that really get defensive about him, like there is, you know what I mean? Like they love him, like they're in love with him.
Well, I've never understood that mentality, even from the old days of Comicsgate, when like there was all these.
He gets a lot of like grifters that just tag along, like that. What's that horrible inbred one with the beard? Renowned on Twitter.
Renowned Zero.
He's just what is he? He got no talent. he's just clinging on to Eric July and sucking his dick all day in his posts. I mean, and he got a life for nothing. That's the people I don't like.
Yeah.
Fair enough if you're doing work for him, if you're actually doing some sort of like positive art or something, but just to be there to be his ring man, that's a bit gay.
Like back in the day, like there's been so many riffs, you know, like there was the Malin and Mike Miller rift, there was the Doug TenNapel and EVS rift, and every time there was these splits, it would literally be like just hundreds of people on Twitter or in the chats arguing with hundreds of other people, you know, and it's like, just last week, everybody was hanging out fine. Like, why are these two guys fighting our problem? Like, you know what I mean? Like, let them fight. That's you know what I mean? Like, that's how I've always seen it. And if you want to watch for the entertainment value of it, I'm with you. It can get pretty spicy. But I'm not going to fight you because you chose Mike Miller's side and I chose EVS's side. You know what I mean? Like as far as who you want to like devote your time to, you know, and that was always my stance, and that's what got labeled me the quote unquote fence sitter, is because I was like, I'm not gonna fight other people's battles that have nothing to do with me.
Right. No, I mean that's just like being like a normal like adult and not like a you know, like
right. Smiller and Doug renounced Comicsgate. Doug definitely. Mike says it, but he hangs out in the slums all the time. Mike, that's why we call him CG Mike, because as much as he hates it, he's Comicsgate, man, for life. He can never leave that alone. And I've actually become really like pretty decent friends with Mike over the years. And we started off fighting, you know, when that whole rift broke down, you know what I mean? Like, because I said, dude, I go, you lump everything into Comicsgate. You broad brush everything because you have a beef with one dude. Right? Like, and like, that's my issue with you. And he apologized, and he tends to, every now and then he'll slip up, but he tends to not do that anymore. And he's made a conscious effort to like not broad brush everybody, because not everybody hated him. Not, you know what I mean? Like, I would have probably continued to back him. You know, I liked Lone Star. All you had to do was go over there and, you know, do your thing over there, and not, you know, call, you know. But he was following in TenNapel's footsteps at the time, I think, with the whole CG is a cult thing and blah blah blah. You know,
keep Comicsgate safe. Keep Comicsgate strong. Yeah. It's very hard to, with Comicsgate, like people say you can't gatekeep a community, but sometimes it needs to be done. When you've got total nutters just coming in claiming your community, sometimes they've got to be ousted. Because you all look bad otherwise.
I got shut down recently for doing that, so I don't know. You know. So
someone's got to step up to the plate. Someone's got to. Otherwise, it's just going to be people that come in. It's just going to fade away. It'll get taken over by crazies and grifters.
That's what I said literally a month ago.
Yeah,
and got yelled at and attacked for it like incessantly.
Well, they can yell at you all they want. I don't give a fuck. If anyone wants to yell at me, carry on. But that's just my opinion. I think you got to have a limit. You got to have limits. You can't. It's the same in all walks of life. You can't just let people do what they want. If you're going to have an idea, a community that sort of has values, then you've got to stick to those values. You can't alter from that.
That I agree with. That's true. That's why. I mean, I had some family issues. My aunt was ill. She passed away a couple of days ago.
Sorry to hear that.
But thanks. I appreciate it. I mean, it was kind of coming. You know what I mean? So it wasn't that big of a surprise, but it still sucks. You know. But that break like gave me some time to think and like clarity and like a lot of this stuff that I get myself wrapped up into. Thank you, Mr. Self-Destruct. It's almost a waste of time, you know what I mean? And time is like, I hate to use the cliche term, but like time is precious. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I just want to make books and have some fun shows on YouTube and help other people make books and promote stuff. And if I like them, I want to be able to like hang out with them and talk to them and what you call it, and whatever. If you want to give me shit for liking somebody that you deem, and I say you, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm just saying you general.
Me.
Yeah.
I think
whatever. It is what it is.
It's good to have a mental break from the internet occasionally. Anyway, just have a week off or something.
Yeah.
Carried away with it otherwise.
Right. And like so my thing is I'm going to stay with the old school CG route as far as like what I aim to do, and that's grow my channel, the whole, pick up the Or mantra, hopefully bring in some I want to dip into like horror movie stuff and indie music because I'm a musician. So and like there's an overlap with you people. I always get misquoted, but there's an overlap with comic nerds in both those fandoms. You know what I mean? And like maybe they come for my music discussions, but they see a book that I might be promoting that day or publishing or doing myself, and
I think
and back
it'd be interesting to get all the musicians in Comicsgate and sort of work on a big collaboration album. That'd be quite fun. Maybe do it for charity or something.
I tried that at one point.
Everyone send a song in.
Yeah, the closest that ever came, and I wouldn't even say that the musicians themselves were Comicsgate. I'd want to say that I was probably the only one that was on it, was for Star Circuit. He did a soundtrack that went along with his comic, and there might have been one or two other comic skaters on there, but a couple of the other artists weren't. They were just friendlies or whatever. But it was good. It was a cool little soundtrack. A lot of like dubstep type stuff, but then there was mine, which was like mellow. That was like the only mellow song on the soundtrack. So.
I liked your music video that we watched as well. It was good for your first one. I like how you edited it. Interesting.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I was like,
you got a challenger. You got a challenger, the King of the Slums. It took a week off, and then there's a new King of the Slums. Yeah, DarkGift. He is the new King of the Slums.
KSS, I dubbed KSS the true slumlord of all the slums when we first started the whole thing, because part of like the show came about of like just like goofs and like little like sarcastic comments, and one of them was his, and then that's kind of how the show kind of like came into fruition. So I was like, he's the true slum. That's why if you notice on the couple of the I don't want to say logos, but like thumbnails, you'll see his little avatar there at the very bottom. But yeah, no, apparently Risey is now the new Risey is the new king of the CG slums. So I don't know.
We're gonna have to put a vote out, I reckon. Let the fans decide. But in my eyes, you're the king of the slums.
I appreciate that.
It's just
kind of weird.
Like all the others are brilliant. I love the slumlords and all that, but you're the one I seem to notice the most. You seem to be the most active on my algorithm, so I end up tuning into you a lot more. I'd like to watch a few more of the other shows. Like I watched a Wiggle. Was it Wiggles?
Wiggle, yeah, Wiggle.
I watched one of his things. He's quite cool.
Yeah, he's a character. He's funny, dude. I like Wiggle.
Risey is the true king. Slum war. There's a real overlap with the horror film community.
Did you? While we've been streaming, the Cartoonist Kayfabe channel deleted their YouTube channel.
Oh shit!
John Delarose has already covered it, of course, because he's fucking.
Wait, who deleted what?
Fast. The Cartoonist Kayfabe channel deleted their YouTube.
Really?
Dillard claiming the crown as well.
What?
Dark. It's just true. I am the only one dedicated to a weekly schedule.
What? So this is prime like CG Commandos stuff here, right? Like their channel's down every day at 9 a.m. They have a new video goes up. Probably won't go up tomorrow, or it'll be some fucked up them jerking each other off or something thing, right? How many Comicsgate channels? Yeah, let's go ahead and. I think that's fine. That's just the not that. What am I doing? Fuck.
Ed
Hold on.
Pisker fucked up. Ed Pisker.
That there. Yeah. Well, so anyways, what I'm saying, there's all these Comicsgate channels. You need to flood YouTube with more stuff to have like by 9 a.m. every morning. All those people that, they have a couple thousand people watching their things every day. 90,000 subscribers that are now don't have their comic book channel. Like, you just got to kind of like ease people in. You don't want to start off saying, hey, Ethan Van Sciver, he's going to make you, vote for Trump. And if you don't like it, you're going to be deported. Like, don't start off with that. Like, just, hey, look, here's Art T-Bear. He's got black and white. Look at that. That's pretty cool. What about these Zayd guys? What about Irene Strakowski? What about, what I'm saying? Like, slide on, a spoonful of sugar helps.
I never watched their channel. What was it about? Like what?
It was they would just cover comic books. Like they would cover
or like reviews.
Yeah, like they would go, it'd be like a top-down view of a comic, and they would go through and talk about it. They covered a bunch of the old Wizard magazines.
Gotcha.
Let's see what John says here. Isn't it? That's what we got. Paste. This is Twitter, so who knows what even comes up on here. And also, there's something that whatever the thing is with the messages and whatever he was doing with the girl or whatever, that everybody knew about that for a while, but now it came back.
So everybody knew about it and didn't do anything? Is it true? like, that's the thing.
That
is
does
it true?
like a logical question that I'm sure no one is going to ask, is what I would imagine. That's like if you listen to the Gutter Boys podcast, they cover just weird indie comics, and they always had it out for Ed Piskor too. Like every time they could like dig in on him for something, like every time he'd screw something up, they'd be like, fucking Ed Piskor, and they'd always kind of reference that there was some sort of more big thing going on or whatever. So yeah, if you're sure He-Man going on there forever, it's just yes, I don't. So that's what I'm saying. It's like this is definitely the time like Comicsgate can like kick all their asses. Put up reviews of your comics. Just go over nice clear pictures of your comics. Talk about what's going on the page. People love it. A little bit of banter, which I mean that's what Comicsgate does anyways. But it's hilarious that they just deleted the channel. I would assume that that must mean there's like bad evidence somewhere. Oh, what is this? what does KSS say at the bottom there? Can you bring that up?
KSS.
Cartoonist kayfabe somehow managed to block a lot of CG people from commenting on their channel a few years ago already. Your boy Zach couldn't comment, and neither could Cecil. Oh, grab that next one below it too. That's need an APB.
No, Finach, I don't think he's been streaming on his main channel, but he's been on his Mega Stank channel, just playing his guitars and stuff. So he's still around.
He didn't not crushed in a tunnel or anything.
No, not as far as I know.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Every day is just an adventure here, Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just crazy. Like all this stuff happened, and I had been in the cartoonist kayfabe, their fan group, and that was definitely how like the people are saying here that like if you criticized them or you said you didn't like this or you disagreed with them, like they're like kicking you out, or they're like hey, come on, we don't really talk like that around here. But I got to do that's the whole thing about I did when I was in the group. I got to contribute to like a big book, right? This giant ass thing. Image Grand Design.
Looking good, mate. Did you do a story or did you draw in it?
Yeah, I did. I thought I showed this before. I did like a few pages.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So all those, a whole bunch of other people were in here. Josh Bayer was in here. I like Josh Bayer a lot. And then Jim and Ed were also in here. So I got to be in a book with them, but I don't know. Maybe now it's not such a good thing. Oh, and Jim Mafu, that's the other thing. Oh, see, yeah, it's just getting all joinkered up because it's all Jim Mafu has got like this kind of crazy like graffiti style. So I got to be in that. Plat, yeah, that's a lot of. I got to be in that, and I felt accomplished. Most of the people I knew from that were all like, didn't like me because of having my opinions were sounded too much like Comicsgate. It's like, what does that even mean? My opinions sound like someone else's? Okay.
I was missing.
Here, hold on a sec.
Gotta go eat. Dillard's off to eat.
I don't think I have a wrench here, so I'll put it in the private chat. This is Finatra's other channel. He was just streaming on it 2 days ago.
I think you have got a wrench. I think I did. I modded you last time.
I'll try. Let's see. Oh yeah, it worked. Everybody go give Finn a sub over on his other channel. That's where he kind of just hangs out and diddles around with music and stuff like that. He was just streaming 2 days ago.
Yeah, I watched a few of his just when he's like chatting and jamming on his guitar. He's quite a good musician.
Yeah, he's just teaching himself, but he's got an ear for it,
Yeah.
So Jonny, do you work on like creating a comic book as well, Jonny, or you're more?
I am, yeah. I got there's two that I'm writing, like the story to, and I've got an artist like helping me with it, and there's one that I'm drawing as well. But it's in the very early stages at the moment. I'm not very professional like you guys.
Okay.
I'm still kind of learning the ropes. But I will keep you updated if I get any good good updates on it. I'll show you. How's your relaunch going? Relaunch comic?
Pretty good. I think I finally got this last week has been pretty.
I've not had a chance to read it. What is the basic gist of it? Like, what's the idea behind it?
Basically, it's just going to be like an anthology. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have like a whole bunch of just different like little stories, little bits in there. Some of them are like kind of connected, but some of them are just going to be
totally random.
Right. Like I'm doing like a number of like little horror stories. So I'm doing I wrote it before as like a little short story for a horror convention I went to, where I called it, it's gonna be called Snow White Trash, right? And it's going to be like the story of Snow White, but she lives in a trailer park, and you know she's mixed up with various illicit substances and whatnot, and
are they like white trash dwarves?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's oh yeah, you have trailer parks in England? No.
We kind of do, but it's mainly gypsies. We have
you're
like
thinking caravans.
Yeah, there's caravan parks, but they're like for holidays and stuff like that. People don't really live on them. The ones that live in their caravans are like travelers, like Irish gypsies, and they just move around the country and park wherever they want, really.
Yeah, you don't move these around. They're like 80 feet or 100 feet long or something.
Yeah, America got some massive trailers, haven't they? We call them caravans over here. It's the same thing, though.
Well, so the witch lives in the trailer park, and she is like the queen of the trailer park, right? Like she's in Snow White, like the evil stepmother was like she was a magician or whatever, right? Like she was that magic mirror and all that stuff. So she's also like that in this, but she's like, she smokes. I'm probably gonna be like a crack or meth or whatever, and she keeps a bucket of mice in the bathroom, and when she eats a mouse, that is what summons her evil mirror demon. Like the magic mirror guy. Magic mirror on the wall, and then he shows up and he's like that green guy. Like that green face in the mirror is like just like the creepiest thing to me. Like and he wasn't even like mean.
And General Piggy.
General Piggy's here. Salute.
Hey, Piggy.
That sounds good, mate. Yes, I like your take on it. You've got a very unique mind. Eating a mouse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's pretty like sometimes I like what I think of like is just like normal stuff. I'll be like, oh, like I'll kind of have to like take a step back and really think about like those normal people don't like like horror stories and whatnot isn't like what most normal people are into. Like even like creative people, like you get people that like horror stuff, but it's got a weird brain.
Oh, there's a new cyberfrog thing on Twitter.
What's this?
What's that?
Yeah, the game the good dude's making.
Oh, right.
Hey.
What's going on? It's not playing. Oh, there it is.
There.
Yeah, that was weird.
I saw that thing too. Like he runs through the
I'd like to see some more computer games of Comicsgate characters.
There it is.
It's like Abe's Odyssey. Not bad. I'd like to see some of the enemies, the Vespers.
Right? You got the fire's burning in the background.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Seems like he knows what he's doing.
I suppose he's not giving too much away. He's just showing us the movements, but I can imagine that being pretty cool when you got to beat up the big wasps.
Yeah. No, that would be.
Have you both read Cyberfrog? Or
I've read the second issue, Wrecked Planet. I haven't read any of them.
I got the really old school ones I just started on from the 90s.
I've had mine. I've always had mine from the 90s. I found them in when I was working at my local comic shop when I was in high school.
Fair play. I bet that was a unique find, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was just like, oh, this looks cool, and like they were just sitting in a box of like random comics like that we had like off to the side. So I took them, and yeah, when I was at Garden State, I had Ethan sign them. So
Was it rare to get indie comics come in your comic book shop then? Was that quite?
no, we had we had actually quite a lot, especially a lot of back issue indie stuff, especially like as we got closer to the mid 90s. But yeah, there was just one of those titles that I guess was never really like hot in my area, so it was just in a random box of like comics that like never got sorted and put away. And one day we were going through it to sort the comics out and put them away in the boxes that they belonged in, and I was like, oh, I'll take these, because I don't even think we had a Hall of Heroes, or no, not Hall of Heroes, Harris. Well, yeah, I don't even think we had like a Harris section.
Yeah. Was that the first company it was under? Harris.
Hall of Heroes was. That's why I said that first. But we didn't have those. We had the Harris ones. Yeah. I wish I had the Hall of Heroes ones. Those are going for a pretty penny over on fucking eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. My local shop has got a couple of them. And they're like, I want to say he's got the first one for $300. So they're
it's
crazy.
Crazy. I think that's two. Oh shit! Fucking hell.
Oh.
There's 2 and 3. I've got one in a cupboard somewhere.
Excellent.
But that's the old ones, I think. I haven't actually looked at his new ones yet. I'm still trying to get through. I like to read things in order.
No. See, I don't read anything in order. I mean, like if I have it and it's like, I got like the whole book right from the beginning, of course.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if I get like the 3rd issue, that's the first one I find. Like,
yeah, I have done that before, but I try, if I'm going to purposely buy one, I try and look it up like in order. I like to get a full set if I can. I'm a bit funny like that, like OCDs.
What?
Did they have comics in The Walking Dead? I've never really been into that. I've seen the show.
I never.
Walking Dead comics. Have a look at it. Wonder if they're any good.
Got a bunch of friends that read them, but I've never been able to get into them. That's what I was going to ask, like you, DarkGift. Like, what comics were you reading before Comicsgate?
I mean, if we're going younger, X-Men is what got me hooked. So I was always like every X book that came out in the 80s and 90s, I was all about. Spider-Man, Batman. I loved the West Coast Avengers. When it was called the West Coast Avengers before they changed it to Avengers West Coast. The New Warriors. I like all that, like the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider, fucking phenomenal. Green Lantern. I was more of a Marvel guy, like Batman and Green Lantern. I got into Superman a little bit, but I was mostly a Marvel guy. Yeah.
Yeah, DC in the 90s, well, probably like late 80s and 90s, like their stuff that was just on the shelf was just kind of, it all looked the same, kind of, just sort of stiff. And then like when they weren't stiff, it was like them trying to go over into trying to be extreme. And they did like those bloodlines and stuff.
Yeah. And then I kind of started dipping out towards the late 90s, and I was sticking with like Batman and Spider-Man, and then around 2002 is when I like just dipped off totally. And then I didn't get back into it.
Can you remember the first ever comic books that you picked up and read that got you interested in comics?
Well, I can remember comics that I had gotten as a kid that like before I was like a collector. But the one that got me, like where I was like, okay, I need to like see what happens next, and then got me going to the actual comic book shop was X-Men 1, I think it was 176.
Right.
A buddy of mine was reading it on the school bus, and I said, "What are you reading?" He said, "X-Men," and I go, "What's X-Men?" And he goes, "Here, read it." And then I brought it home and I read it, and when I got on the bus the next day in the morning, I gave it back to him and I said, "Do you have the next one?" And he pulls the next one out of his book bag and he handed it to me. He's like, "I knew you were gonna ask." And and I was like, I think they were at that point already in like the 190s, 180s, 190s at that point. So when I went to like 7-Eleven, obviously there was like a gap from where I had just read to what was like on the quote unquote newsstand. And I said, "Where do I get the next one?" And he was like, "Well, I have it." I said, No, where do I get to buy these?" And he was the one that took me to the comic book shop my first time. Yeah. And me and him worked at the comic book shop. We started when we were like 13, off the books, for store credit.
That's a dream job for a teenager, isn't it?
Yeah, 13 years old, $6 an hour in like 1987. No, it was probably like 1988. 1988. It was more than minimum wage. I think minimum wage was like $4.10.
What is your minimum wage in America now? Has it gone up?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I guess it's different in each state, isn't it? Or is it like a national?
Yeah. No, it's different in each state.
Yeah, it's
they have to meet a certain threshold or whatever, and a percentage increase, nationally, but each state is different. See, I'm a tip-based employee. When I work in the office, I'm getting $20-something an hour. But when I'm behind the bar, I get mostly tips, so I don't even pay attention to. So I don't even know let me see what's the minimum wage in New Jersey right now.
Let me read KSS there. First comics I picked up were the Marvel Star Wars comics. The excellent art of Al Williamson. First comic I bought with my money is G.I. Joe 46.
Ben, I've just got to pop to the toilet a minute, mate. I won't be long.
All right. You want me to
Just yeah, whatever. Just show whatever you want, mate. I'll be 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah, let me push this.
Yeah, minimum wage in Jersey is 15 an hour now.
Oh, why not? I don't think. Oh, I think he's got to push a button. No, he's he's. He had to go check on Patrick in the infirmary.
What's going on with Patrick? Is he okay?
Yeah, I believe he said he was just not. He was feeling a little under the weather.
Oh, okay.
Seriously, I did see like Pops is in the hospital. Pops Van Zant.
I just saw that.
Yeah, so shout out to Pops there. I say a prayer for him definitely if you're religious. If not, don't. That's the thing I like with Comicsgate, right? Is that like everybody can fight. If like not that you have to, but like if people argue and they're angry at each other, it's fine. It's not like okay, that's the end. You know what I mean? Like with any other comics groups I've ever seen or been around, or little scenes or whatever you want to call them, it's always like you just don't disagree with the other people, or else you gotta go. And,
right.
And that's something like with Comicsgate, it's not.
That's why the whole cult thing or hive mind thing about Comicsgate is so not true.
That's what I mean. It's just. But it's still like that's what I'm saying. It's still like there's like a unifying core strength. But like there's room for all the different kind of people that make comics. Like there's the people that make the weird stuff, like that. Have you seen that Mr. Burger guy that's been doing animations and stuff? Like stuff's bonkers. It's like that.
Does he make comics now, Mr. Burger? Is he a comic man?
I think he's making one.
That was definitely an impression I got. Like, but that's what I'm saying is there's so many different avenues or angles you can go in Comicsgate, and you still have all the rest of the people that aren't going to be like well, you make the superhero stuff, whatever, we only do weird creepy incest piss porn over here. We're not gonna I don't think there is weird creepy incest piss porn, but if there was
Grey Wolf says he seems to be doing better. He's still actually, I just saw a tweet from him. It looks like he's home. I didn't even know he was in the hospital, but like I said, I've been off the internet. So do we know what was wrong with Pops?
I didn't. I can't follow medical things.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was mentioned.
Conflict of interest. He said something about it's puking up blood or something. And I was like, oh, okay, that's enough. I'm not. I have for actual horror and blood, I have a very weak stomach. So like if I were to see like horrible Jonny were to get a paper cut, God forbid, I wouldn't injure him, but I would be like sick to my stomach seeing it. Like even though like it's just a paper cut, it's weird.
Comicsgate can't be classed as a cult unless we have an orgy, apparently.
Well, not all of us. Hernia. Oh.
Yeah, I don't like hearing too much about medical stuff either.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm used to gore and blood. I can handle that, but I don't like to think of death a lot when people are very ill.
Right. Well, obviously,
a hernia. That's nasty. That is. Different types. I had a mate who had a hernia in his back. It's like I think it's where your muscles like overlap, like plates.
That does sound. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even like, I mean, I guess I try to think about it like if I think of like some sort of like nasty injury and it makes me like shudder. Like if I'm just like thinking about it, I'm like, maybe that's something I should like write down and like save that for like a scene or a story or something. You know, like what else are you supposed to do with your gores?
Have any of you ever witnessed any like major accidents or things like that? I've seen quite a lot. I was when I was a kid, I was sat down with my mate and we were like on this I don't know, what do you call it in America? Like a fire escape, like a metal fire escape. We were sat on that and we were just having a smoke and a drink, and some woman jumped off the roof, flew down past us and just committed suicide right above us.
Oh boy.
Proper shocking it was.
How high up was that?
We were up about 2 floors and she was up about 5.
Oh.
So yeah, it wasn't a pretty sight when she hit the concrete.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, no, I haven't seen anyone seen that.
I guess you got to be really unlucky, ain't you, to see things like that, being in the right time and right place, or wrong place, wrong time.
Right. Well, I mean, they are definitely always.
Sorry if that depressed you and brought you down. I didn't mean it to be like that.
No. That's what I'm saying. It is it's an awkward conversation, definitely. I have witnessed numerous acts of violence, so I'm saying it's like, well, where do you want me to start? But
did you I forgot what state you said you were in, Ben. Where is it you're based?
Ohio.
Ohio.
So I'm right by Cleveland, and I'm right by, if you can think of where like the Great Lakes are. There's like 5 like little lakes, and they're like kind of not in the middle.
Like Central America then? Ohio, sort of central east or west?
Yeah, sort of. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's sort of central east. You got the lakes, and then right past the lakes is Canada. So like it's.
Oh right, like I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the top of the country, but also like not, because it's.
Yeah.
Zigzag kind of, you know.
Do you have any rough areas there, like where you got gangs or criminals or anything? Because I know New York's pretty rough, isn't it? You from New York, and you DarkGift?
I mean, yeah, originally from Brooklyn, but I moved to Jersey at a young age. But I've worked in Manhattan. I have family in the Bronx and Brooklyn and Long Island and Queens, so Staten Island. So yeah, New York. There's certain parts. I mean, it's a city. If you're talking about New York City as a whole, the 5 boroughs and everything, it's pretty dangerous to begin with as a city. But as most cities are, but. Some areas are better than others, and some areas are like really bad. But where we were in Brooklyn at the time was good. Now it's not so good. Yeah, the part of Bensonhurst, Brooklyn that we were in.
Bryan Cranston said in his first trip to New York, someone jumped from a building and in. Oh, bloody hell. That's a nasty
experience. Held his hand. Oh, easy. I don't know if I would want to. Yeah, I definitely probably couldn't do that. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know, like people in a hospital when they die and stuff. I'm like, I'm not the person that like sticks around in there to make them uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm gonna go wander around for a while. Huh.
Is that something you wanted to present, Ben? We look really nightmarish there, didn't we? Like chaos demons or something.
Yeah, this was AI stuff, so I don't think we've come up with an official policy for the Commandos of AI or not, but it's good enough for Dave McKean. It's good enough. It's good enough for the Comicsgate Commandos.
It's original. It's different.
Yeah, well,
Definitely
I used that picture that you had made of like the three of us that was like that, like in that same like setting or whatever. I put that in as a reference photo.
3 German soldiers, I think, originally.
It must have picked up like all the stuff on your mask and like made us all have creepy
yeah.
The one looks just like a carpet, like ugh.
The one on the right?
Yeah.
Looks like an oriental carpet.
Yeah, someone's just got a carpet over their head, it looks like. That one on the left looks like the thing from the animated thing, Nightmare Before Christmas. The little skeleton man.
Yeah, I can see that. And then see, that's what I'm saying. And then you were the one that was like sitting at the bottom, and so it just went like crazy with yours, and just.
Yeah, I think that was you on the left and Pat on the right. Pat's just become some sort of slug man.
See, and then we can use this technology of Photoshop. That's what we should start doing. Is we start adding in like more commandos, like every time someone's comes on the stream, like select a picture of them, put them in.
Got quite a few regulars on here now. Some decent people come on, like DarkGift. Matt Barr pops on quite a lot. I like having a chat with Matt. He's interesting.
Yeah, he's a good dude with a very, especially art wise, a very he's a plethora of knowledge as far as like certain things in art and stuff like that. I like having him around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's.
Do you class him as one of the slum lords, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's too good for us, but he likes being there, so. But, who am I to argue, right?
I must admit, I haven't got any of his art yet, but I do want to. I'm really into that rock and roll ninjas. That looks pretty good.
I think you could still get it. I forget what campaign it's still on.
Trying to look it up.
I think it's on the Rambo campaign. First Kill.
Is that still going then, the Rambo one, or is it almost finished? Or
I think it's still going. Last I remember it came up. Matt said it was still going because we were talking about where you can get Rock and Roll Ninja still, and he said I think you could still get it on the Rambo campaign.
Right.
Find out. Oh, jeez. What do I do? Go down to the
Indiegogo. It's still on there, I think. By the looks of it.
Critical Drinker Bundle. You have to click it to find out. Yeah, so that gets First Kill, and then which one was it you said you want, Johnny?
Rock and Roll Ninja. It's probably it might be an add-on. It might not be on the
Indiegogo Rock and Roll graphic novel, it says. Oh no, it's
Drink this, maybe this is it.
Newest campaign. First Kill. Rambo. Yeah, I think it must have ended.
But Rock and Roll Ninja itself ended the main campaign.
First Kill. Oh, those are just all variants of the First Kill book. Okay, well let me.
I would unshare, and then
if I go to his I think if I just go to here, that should show. That.
Yeah, no, but what I was going to say is unshare and then click on one of the tiers like you were going to back, and then see if it's an add-on. I think it's an add-on on First Kill.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea what I'm
doing. That's a clever move.
The reason why I say unshare is because you don't want to dox any of your personal information. Because once you click on the
Let me figure this out. Okay, hold on. Campaigns.
Apparently there's plans for a sequel, Rock and Roll Ninja. Interesting.
That's what I hear.
I'll take it they're like a rock band or something. Matt was trying to explain it. It sounded really trippy. Like a rock band that's trained by an assassin clan or something like that. Almost like an A-team. I thought it was interesting. What's that? I thought it was interesting that First Kill hasn't passed 300k in spite of having Critical Drinker. Oh. The Critical Drinker.
Oh, popular add-ons, I see. Expendables Go to Hell and the Expendables hardcover. That's the only ones they got. Thanks for nothing, Matt Barr. You want to get Rock and Roll Ninja? It's not there.
It's good though that it's popular.
Yeah, no,
I'm sure there'll be people selling copies of it as well for extortionate prices.
That is, by the way, if anyone, no one's bid on these Red Room comics, have they? They haven't.
Yeah, anyone in the chat, Dr. Ben's selling some brilliant comics. They're all amazing. So get hold of him on Twitter, Dr. Ben.
$5. We can get rid of these Eddie Piscor. These were made before everyone found out he was.
They'll be worth a bit. They might not be everyone's taste, but they'll be worth something to someone.
That is correct. Like, you know how many videos they had on the Cartoons Kayfabe channel? It was like thousands. I mean, I'm sure you can just turn it on and off. Like, it's not like they're all gone forever, but like that's like a shitty thing to do to the other guy, your co-host. Like, now everything's all tied up with me being dragged through all this stuff, and it's a mess. And you know, I think a lot of it is because, like people are saying, he's got like a bad attitude, like an elitist. You know, like he had like his success with the hip hop family tree books, and he kind of let that, and then he got the he got to do the X-Men comic. That's the AP X-Men's. You know, he kind of let all that go to his head, and once he started joining the authorities, the authoritarians, it's all downhill from there.
Are you still DarkGift? Are you still working on your Noir comic book, or is that all done now?
That's actually that's actually Doc Blaylock's book that I publish. I publish letter and edit it. Last I talked to Doc, which was about the book. I think he's got like 2 more pages done. Or 2 more pages to go, excuse me. But I gotta give him a call. We gotta sit, now that I'm, getting back into the swing of things. This week we're gonna sit down, have a meeting, see where we're at, and pick a launch date. So that's what we're gonna do.
Sounds good. I'm really into that sort of genre. I like detective stuff and crime and things like that.
Yeah, and it takes place in the Pariah, which was his first book, Pariah Blood and Mud. It takes place in that world, so there's going to be other elements, and he'll be in books 2 and 3 of the Pariah series. This character, Detective Jake Bishop. So,
has he got like a site or any links we could put up for him?
He's on Doc Blaylock. He's on Twitter. He's on my website, but I'm actually in the process because the store feature on my website got taken away, and I have to like incorporate either a third-party store like Shopify, or get a whole new web host. So that's probably what I'm going to do. So I'm in the middle of doing that. But you can still go to the website and see the books we have. You just can't buy anything on the website right now. That's darkgiftcomics.com. I could put that in the chat.
Yeah.
Woden Show. Shane Davis.
We do have more breaking news is that the Cartoonist Kayfabe channel is now back up. Now it's back up. But they must have done something. Why would you have to take it down and put it back up?
Yeah, DarkGift put a link up in the chat. Everyone have a look at that. He really is. Oh, Woden shot, bigging up Shane. They got a pro man.
If you go to darkgiftcomics.com, in the menu bar at the top of the webpage, actually, it should be on the homepage, but you can go to Rampart Studios. That's his imprint, and then you could see the stuff that he's got going on over on that particular page of the website.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll be looking that up.
I'm gonna throw that up there for a second there in time.
Yeah, mate.
There it is.
Oh,
you're seeing. Go look at the.
Yeah, if you go to Rampart Studios.
Okay. Oh, for Doc Blaylock. Okay.
Yeah. And Damn Dirty Thing is the one that we're. Oh, I have to put that's the wrong trailer link. That's the old trailer.
Watch the old one?
No. The new one's better. It's a revamped version of that one. And like, if you watch the old one and then go to watch the new one, it'll just be like, I should have just watched the new one.
I love the cover of that. It looks like a movie or something.
Actually, it says it at the bottom in the fine print, but it's based on the old Noir movie posters, and specifically, it was an old 1947 Noir movie called Born to Kill, and we took that poster and basically
you kind of used the layout and redone it.
Yep, did an homage to it. So
brilliant.
Yo, Manicore, what's up, man? So, and along with the it says 16 pages. I'm still saying 16 because I don't want to overpromise anything. But Doc may be pushing it to 20. I don't know. I haven't. That's up to him. But it's like a little supplemental story to introduce this character before we get to books 2 and 3 of Pariah. And then after the Pariah saga, this is going to be Doc's main character that he goes forward with. At least right after that, he wants to do a lot more stories with this guy. So originally Pariah was going to just be Pariah Blood and Mud and one big book, like a 100-page book, and then the economy took a dump. So we decided to break it up into a trilogy, and in doing so, certain things had to get readjusted and cut and stuff like that. and we were like, do we dedicate a whole like part of book 2 to like the introduction of this character, or do we just do this little supplemental floppy? And that's what we decided to do. So this way, when book 2 comes, and he's there, you've already met him. You already kind of get an idea of his origin and stuff like that.
And then what? You automatic the 16-page thing is just with the second book, or is it?
So no. So the second book is going to be called Pariah. Yeah. So we had Pariah, Blood and Mud. I don't have, which I'll show you. Here we go. I got a copy of it here.
You're the distributor that Eric July strives to be.
So this is Pariah, Blood and Mud. This was the first book, and it's about this witch, Elizabeth Payne, who witnessed a Russian mob hit, and then when they went to take her out, they basically, the gang had a little fun with her before they left her for dead. So she was basically beaten, raped, and left for dead. But she survived. And her grandfather taught her the ways of their magic, and she kind of goes crazy because of her whole situation and decides to go on a revenge spree. If you've ever seen I Spit on Your Grave, it's that with a witch who controls a golem made out of like the swamp. So it's almost like a Swamp Thing type of creature, but yeah. So book 1 was the, her witnessing the thing, her getting killed, or supposedly getting killed, her training, and then, her like kind of going, okay, that's it, I'm getting revenge on these fucks. And then book 2 picks up with her going back to the city to go deliver said revenge. Again, somewhere in this story, we were going to. Are we hearing music? Somewhere in the story, we were going to meet Jake Bishop, and and he was going to, like, we don't know if he's going to be friend or foe to Elizabeth. Is he going to help her, or is he going to try to stop her? But when we split it up into the trilogy, we decided to do his little bit of an origin story there, so this way we don't have to worry about any exposition or anything like that in books 2 and 3.
Yeah, it is a cool looking like bog monster. It's like I get it.
Yeah.
That's brilliant artwork.
That's Doc's artwork, yeah.
Oh, that's okay. It's Doc Blaylock. All right.
Yeah, and for covers B and C, we got Jim O'Reilly, and Matt Krotz did the colors for both Doc's cover and Jim O'Reilly's cover. And cover C was Luke Stone, and Luke Stone's artwork was colored by Carol Colors. So, yeah. And there'll be a second chance for Pariah, Blood and Mud on the Damn Dirty Thing campaign. So for people who didn't catch that, and Damn Dirty Thing piques their interest, and they have a chance to at least get Blood and Mud. So this way, if they like the character of Jake Bishop, they can get books 2 and 3, and they can follow his adventures going through the Pariah series. And then once that Pariah trilogy is done, the next book for A Damn Dirty Thing will pick up basically right after that. So these characters tie into each other and then move out. So
the Carol colors. What's that? Carol colors.
Carol's she's basically she's in the chats a lot. She's my own personal troll, I guess, but she's really up and coming colorist. I'll show you her work.
Yeah. I'll stop
So,
that one.
so this was the Luke Stone cover, and this is and Carol did the colors on it.
Wow. Yeah, it's nice colouring.
Yeah, she does good work because I do blacklight tapestries instead of posters. And she did her colors really work well with doing blacklight stuff. I don't have the one that she did up behind me, otherwise I would turn my blacklight on, but it's up on my ceiling. So I don't feel like dismounting my webcam at the moment, but she does really good. Yeah, she is a natural, right, Manticore?
He's very technical to do colouring. He's intricate, and he's, no offence, but it's one of the more boring jobs, isn't it? Like, it's fun being the artist. To colour it, you got to get it spot on.
Yeah, especially when you got people telling you what they want, and you got to like get it done right, you know.
Yeah,
it's always my challenge. See, do I have any other?
I watched a video, Eric July thing on Ethan's channel the other day, and he was saying about all the prices that people get paid, like the artist, and then the colorist, and the inker and stuff like that. And he was saying about the levels.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it depends on like who you're dealing with, like what level of experience they're working with. But yeah, basically, you know, the artist is, if you're breaking it down, a lot of artists nowadays ink their own stuff because a lot of them work digitally, so there's no real need to have a separate inker. But yeah, the artist would get paid more than the inker and then the colorist, you know.
What's your opinion on that, like digital art? Do you prefer hand-drawn stuff, or do you not really mind as long as it's good?
I don't really mind as long as it's good. The drawback obviously is there's no, like, you say there's a book that you like, and then you think, man, I wish I could buy the original artwork for this cover. You know, like if you can't, you know, there's no buying the original artwork from a digital artist.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. Like with a hand-drawn piece of art, you've always got the original sketches and the progression, and even that becomes worth a lot of money to the right people if you're a good artist.
Yeah, like I like that's why I got to give Dillard Inquoff and Peter Gilmore a lot of props for helping me out when that whole Vic King stuff dropped, and I had to get those covers redone because they all draw traditionally, but they tend to work digitally. But because I had customers that bought original art tiers, I needed original art pieces to replace those original art, you know, and they did it. You know, they did it for me. Oh, speaking of which, I gotta hit Peter up. I owe him $50.
Talking to Pete.
So I was gonna say you should get Peter on here, Johnny. He's got.
I'd love to get him on. He'd be welcome on any time. Brilliant artist. I was just about to say, he put a post up the other day. He's advertising for commissions. He said that he's open to commissions.
Is he? I'll have to share that tweet out.
He said whether you want a poster or a cover or whatever, he's offering all sorts. So yes, get in there. If you're an up and coming artist and you got a story, go give Pete a bell. Brilliant artist.
Yeah, and you know, Pete did the cover for my one book that's super late. Again, I think I mentioned there was issues that stalled the project out, but like it's back on track. He did the cover for that one. That one's obviously it's not even open. The campaign's not open anymore, but he did a phenomenal job on it. and he colored it himself. So he really he hooked me up. And then Dillard and Quaff did the covers for Lightbringer 2, which is still in demand. That's being drawn by Dean James over in Australia. But the covers were done by somebody else, and I had to get them replaced. So I gotta get Quaff's colored. I think Dillard's gonna color his own. So that'll be cool. You know, so that's why like Dillard, like when his Canadian tussle book comes out, well, gets ready to fulfill. I'm gonna fulfill it for him, but I'm not gonna charge him because he did that cover out of pocket. So what's fair is fair, you know.
Yeah, there's the post he put out the other day. If you need a cover for your comic book, comic interiors, trading card, t-shirt designs, print, poster, or maybe just a badass piece to hang on your wall, hit me up. So anyone watching, Peter Gilmore Art on Twitter, CG King of Horror, get onto it.
Yeah, I have a lot of Peter Gilmore original art. I spent a lot of money on auctions. He's one of my favorite artists, and he's a good friend. So
his stuff is that like so like detailed and like just so insane. Like I look at that and I'm like, it just take me 3 years to do.
It's very it reminds me a lot of like Hammer Horror, like the old films, Hammer Horror films. His artwork's very much like that.
I couldn't do that in Proby. I couldn't. I couldn't have that on my yeah, like knowing I couldn't put it out on my book. Like that's why Lightbringer 1 like what happened?
Improby. What is that?
Improby is the guy above Manicore. You highlighted his comment.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Sorry, mate. I thought it was. I was looking at it and I was thinking, what is that word? It's a name. I'm bored. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to put allegedly in front of that. Improby. Allegedly, actually, I would have taken those Vic King covers and allegedly he would have slabbed them and sold them on his campaigns. Allegedly.
Like here's the thing. On Lightbringer 2, I have a catch-up campaign for Lightbringer 1, which was totally drawn by Mr. Robert Kincaid, a.k.a. Vic King.
Well, I mean, he didn't escape from prison. I mean,
right.
I always have to take the devil's advocate, you know, like just as a matter of principle, you know. But
yeah, he did his time. Like people say he did his time and whatever, but like with something like that, you got to be up front with you're paying him to do work for you. Both your names are going to be on it. I put my neck out for that guy for years, dude. For years.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if he didn't tell you, if it was like he robbed like the Fifth Third Bank and got away with it, or did his time, like, nobody's gonna care. But like, he's fucking
hell. Even murder, right? Even murder.
Even murder.
You know, it's like, all right, you got to pass. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, somebody broke in your house, you killed them, you went to jail, and you know what I mean? I got you. No big deal. But that's like, yeah, exactly, Risey. You would still feel dirty. I know, man. You would just still feel. So I put the book 1, like we were selling on the website before they took away the store feature, and I took it down and put it as out of print. And I'm going to get it redrawn by Dean, because Dean's going to do book 3, so might as well do all the books with the same artist anyway, right? I was planning on having him redraw book 1 anyway to do like a because even though we plan on going past book 3, book 3 is the first arc, so we would collect those 3 together, and I would have it all done by the same artist before this even came up. Now I'm just kind of rushing the job, but you know, when I'm ready to fulfill, I'll reach out to the backup. The plan is to reach out to the people who did the catch-up tier and say, you know, we're going to send you a digital copy of the current book 1, just so you could read it, and have book 2, and then you could either get and then you could wait for the redraw next year, and I'll mail it out to you then of the new book, the new book 1, or just get a refund. But everybody was like, if they want the book as is and you have it and they paid for it, you should send it to them. And I feel dirty doing that, but you know, if they want it, I'll give it to them. I just don't see why anybody would want it. You know,
well, honestly, myself, it makes me more curious about it. Like I appreciate like you being like the position you're in with it is like, what? You kidding? You're like doing all this stuff, and dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's, you know, you've known him for a few years, you've been friends, working on comics, and like, you know, you both go into like this publishing venture, you know, at least like creating comics together, and like, that's what I'm saying. He was kind of wrong for not coming to you with it.
Like, yeah, like give me the heads up and be like, listen, before we get into a working relationship here, you should probably know this in case it ever comes out, and then give me the choice to say. I mean, I would have said no, but give me the choice to say yes or no. You know what I mean? Like,
I am the tri-state serial killer, cannibal rapist. I mean, you know, it's. So we just gotta get to the bottom of it. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it was just like a pinup or something, I'd be like, who cares, you know, whatever. But like a whole book and then another book and more stuff and this, it's like, you never thought to like maybe mention this, like try to get ahead of it.
I guess he thought he was. I mean, he was using a fake name. I guess he thought he was going to get away with it, but
right. Yeah, I've used fake names before, obviously. You know, like yeah.
I think everyone's had to use a fake name at some point. Some people fake their own deaths.
What do you think about all this stuff with they've been saying the print, since this is the conspiracy episode? I forgot I wanted to ask you about this, Johnny. I know you're all on edge with the new king. Alston, you know, what's going on with the princess and the other guy? She was disappeared for a while. They said it was AI. And they had pictures of her, and they were saying they're AI pictures. And then she came out and she said that she's got a medical condition, and that is why you haven't seen her. Are they?
Oh yeah, you're on about Kate, isn't you? Catherine.
Yeah.
Prince William's. Yeah, Prince William's missus. Yeah, I think she's ill. I think she's in hospital. I haven't been too up on the news.
See, I just love to follow all the stuff that, like, you know, they're reptilians, they're living in the hollow earth. These are clones.
Yeah,
yes,
there's a lot of conspiracy theories about that. The reptilian. It's David Icke, wasn't it, who come up with that theory?
Yeah.
The reptilians taken over.
I'm saying it's all uncannily connected. Uncannily connected.
What they call the Anunnaki.
Yeah.
Some sort of lizard race.
That's what I'm saying. I saw one yesterday that said that we had been on Mars. We messed up Mars so bad that they sent an escape pod here with, you know, like people or whatever. That was Adam and Eve, and the escape pod was the comet that killed the dinosaurs. I don't know if I believe it or not, but that's what I'm saying. They got a lot of ideas. I love to just kind of like look at all of them, and I figure like let's take a little bit from each one. Yeah.
For as long as I can remember, I've had an interest in what some people condescendingly term conspiracy theory. You see, I was born November 22nd, the anniversary of John F. Kennedy's assassination. And every year on my birthday, there's been televised specials on practically every channel talking about magic bullets, grassy knolls, other shooters, as well as CIA, FBI, and mafia involvement. Even by the age of 10, this spoke to me. And of course, there were UFOs, the Illuminati, occult Nazis, organized satanic networks, fake moon landings, and CIA mind control programs. Hell, even if this was all bullshit, it was fun to read about. It was in 2000 that I first discovered David Icke's book, The Biggest Secret. In it, he writes about a global conspiracy, a hidden hand manipulating humanity's destiny through the shadows, using those who seem to be in power.
Yeah, there's been a theory of that for quite a long time now, that the elite are some kind of alien race.
That's what I'm saying.
And the goal of these shadows.
Hard to disprove it.
People, nothing less than an Orwellian global superstate with total control at the hands of an ancient reptilian shape-shifting race. So we took a ferry to the Isle of Wight to spend the day with David Icke, Britain's leading conspiracy evangelist and the one man standing between us.
The Isle of Wight, that's where the Sandown clown was as well. Isn't it strange? That's kind of like a freaky island.
Hey! Yes,
Mr.
nice to meet
Icke,
you.
nice to meet you.
Good trip.
Yes, it was.
Welcome to my boat. There's not much to see, but I like it.
What do we got here?
Well, this is things that I've collected over the years. This is fantastic. Someone in Hawaii actually painted this. This is what the painting is. This is the original of the front cover of my last book, Human Race, Get Off Your Knees, The Lion Sleeps No More. And I asked my great friend, an artist called...
Yeah, David. Have you heard of David Icke before in America?
Yeah.
I think I've got a library full of his books, actually. So
He used to be a professional footballer in Britain. He was a professional footballer that went a bit crazy, or they say he went crazy, but maybe he was just opened up.
Celebrity. After arthritis had ended a promising career in football, he'd become a broadcaster. That all ended in one remarkable appearance on the Terry Wogan Show.
David Icke.
In a turquoise tracksuit, he'd announced that he was the son of God, and the world would be ending that year. It didn't, and Icke seemed destined to disappear beneath a typhoon of public laughter.
So it's quite funny, really. You know, 2,000 years ago, had a guy called Jesus sat here and said these same things, you would still be laughing. It's really, really funny that we've not really moved on that much.
They're laughing at you. They're not laughing with you.
Fine.
He did say some silly things, though. Look at that.
And was not in charge of its destiny. It was the unwitting prisoner of a race of shape-shifting lizards who occupied the roles in the highest echelons of society. From presidents to royal families, all trusted public figures were secretly part of a reptilian, Satanist pedophile group who had been on this planet for centuries. People began to take notice of Icke, and today he spends most of his year preaching to amphitheaters full of fans. He's still making startling revelations, and recently declared the moon to be a hollowed-out planetoid space station from which our minds are controlled. The lizard's very own Death Star.
Don't mention the reptiles.
Don't mention the reptiles, yeah. Because there were people, when it started to come in, people who were kind of into my stuff up to that point, which was kind of regular fight. Well, it's a bit strange. It was all the way the was manipulated by a few people, but it was all kind of regular stuff. And then I came across with this stuff. And
Get it out of the way.
Don't mention the reptiles. They'll just laugh at you again. I said, I know, but I've seen enough and heard enough.
Have you seen those clips before with where they've taken pictures of people or caught them on camera and their eyes go like really weird, like lizardy?
Mm-hmm.
There's been a few celebrities caught on camera. I'll try and find it. Lizard eyes.
I believe all of these things. Okay, you know, like it does.
Where is it? Lizard people.
Yeah, there's just like so many, and they're all tied in with the Nephilim, the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, and there's another one too. The is it Nibiru, the other planet or something or other? I think that's what the Anunnaki are supposed to be on.
Since I was a child, I've been naturally inquisitive, questioning anything and everything that didn't quite make sense. As I grew, I poured countless hours into a number of conspiracy theories. Some of these theories I believe in, some of these theories I don't. But some of them I do. Here I'll be studying the evidence for and Bill and Hillary Clinton and Bob Hope are lizard people as well. Ick says that the reptoids are responsible for the JFK assassination, Princess Diana's death, and even 9/11. According to Ick, the Anunnaki, an ancient species of prehistoric alien demigods, came from the Orion, Sirius, and Draco constellations, created humans, and then created a reptilian-human hybrid. Making sense, right? Additionally, Ick suggests that lizard people drink human blood, which allows them to shapeshift into human form, allowing them to, I guess, then become a vaudeville legend and have an airport named after them. Ick has written that presidents and prime ministers have either been lizard people themselves or have been possessed or controlled by lizard people, and that they have had control over powerful offices since ancient times, like when Shrek 1 came out. Pretty heavy stuff, right? So what is there that even and the other Harrison, Taft, and of course, the other Roosevelt? I mean, his own wife, Eleanor, was his 5th cousin. Hell, according to genealogy experts at genie.com, you go back far, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are related. 19th cousin. Tails instead of skin, they lay eggs. But those are easy. According to one source at Alien Hub, there are more subtle signs that someone is a lizard person or have been possessed by one. Reddish hair. I didn't say it, they did. Keen eyesight or hearing. If I had keen eyesight, I would be wearing glasses to throw people off. Low blood pressure. Everything's chill, dude. ESP. UFO connections. A love of space for science. Space. A predominance of green or hazel eyes that can change color. A sense of not belonging to the human race. Oh, I don't belong to the human race. A deep compassion for the fate of mankind. Unexplained scars on the body. An affinity for those chalky Valentine's Day hearts. That's not actually on the list, but...
Yeah. Very odd.
A lot of those. I checked a lot of those boxes.
Yeah, I can't find the actual videos. I was looking. There's like shape-shifting videos where people they've caught them in public, like interviews and stuff, but the camera's caught it.
No, I don't want that. This one.
What's this? That might be it. I don't know. Might be one of them.
Aaron Burnett out. What happened to Aaron Burnett's eye? The anchorwoman's eye looked infected, half open and swollen, and she
no, that one is.
During her
She's got a lazy eye.
Yeah. It might be like that one of Katy Perry where she was like singing and like her one eye was all just been stuck or whatever. You know, it's just like you could tell it was like it was like
that we are following today's events
crooked and whatnot.
Very closely, and we'll have more to say as this plays out. But what is absolutely clear is that we are witnessing history unfold. It's a moment of transformation that's taking place because the people of Egypt, walks of life, but
I think the eye is fucking up with.
What's Risey's dive bar saying up there? You're calling us gingers, lizard people now.
We didn't say it.
Ain't got souls.
All these gingers, I don't know. Maybe that's why they're getting rid of all the ginger people in the movies, is because they're just getting rid of the reptilians.
Well, their fatigue could be in part to so many unruly passengers lately.
This ain't nothing to do with the lizard man. It just sounds interesting.
One American Airlines passenger was caught on camera growling and hissing during a flight.
Incredible video. They've since been arrested. Fox Certified's Chelsea Edwards spoke with someone on that flight.
Sit down now. You can't hold us.
Watch as this belligerent passenger argues with the pilot on this American Airlines flight from LA to Salt Lake City.
Sit. Is anyone else get up? Sit.
The passenger then appears to stumble backwards through the aisle and pull his face mask over his eyes, shouting,
"Don't find it! Really?"
Once seated, the passenger appears to growl, snarl, and chew on his mask, visibly agitated.
He was swearing, he was yelling, he was flipping them off.
Dennis Bush was connecting through LA from Hawaii and started shooting this video after the first incident halfway through the flight, directed at a woman seated nearby.
He started saying that that wasn't her seat, that they didn't belong there, and the couple was of Asian descent, and it was very uncomfortable. She started to
As the passenger then directed his anger toward
got up. You could just feel the anxiety in the whole cabin as everyone kind of tensed up, not knowing what was.
Oh, they came in again.
Really?
The FAA confirms that American Airlines Flight 1802 landed in Salt Lake after the.
I like that. I like that about American police. They don't fuck about. They're just straight in there. Come on, you're coming with us.
Yeah, they don't.
Our police would be all poncy about it. They'd be like, "Excuse me, please come with me." They'd be all nice, and it don't work.
Yeah, there. These motherfuckers ain't real.
You get some strange things on planes, don't you? There's a few strange people that fly on planes and lose it.
I've only flown once. Well, I shouldn't say once. I mean, obviously, I flew out and then flew back, but I've only had one experience flying, and I'll just drive next time.
Gingers are delicious, apparently. Woden Shot's dad was a 33rd degree owl.
You think about boats.
Is involved in a bizarre sexual religious cult, according to his biggest hater. Plus, surprise, Justin also happens to be a giant shape-shifting lizard. Hey guys, it's Allie with your Daily Beaver, and I'm bring back at Justin telling the Scully Show.
Well, the guy doesn't wear a shirt, but I don't like to.
Age prop crushed him. Get well soon, Satan. Just think he is. So Rolling Stone decided to debunk this insane conspiracy theory. The mag reports the Australian news site Perth Now allegedly released a report claiming hundreds of fans saw JB shapeshift into a giant lizard at Perth Airport. The alleged report.
That sounds a bit odd.
Report even had quotes from people like a local skater who claimed bodyguards tried to cover JB mid-transformation and threatened to kick people's teeth in if they didn't put their phones away. Clearly it worked because there's no video evidence of Lizard Justin, right? But plot twist, BuzzFeed News was told by the...
There's no lizard. Oh, what the fuck? How's that even a story? There's no evidence.
But there could be if they have their phones. Wait, that one looked. Go back up where you could see his eyes. No, not that.
Oh, Charles. Prince Charles got like that. Funny viral eye glitch. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah,
it was like a robot eye, wasn't it? I remember that on the news.
Don't worry,
Her eye
Katy
went
Perry
from
isn't
the-
actually an extraterrestrial. The pop star is clearing up the. She posts on IG, welcoming all my hashtag flat earthers. She jokingly adds,
Maybe she's one of those futuristic robots that looks like a human.
Some people have said she could be the one girl that John Bonet. Is that the one that they say that the Katy Perry possibly is? Is John Bonet?
They say that she's John Benet Ramsey.
Potentially, like, you know, I mean, as much as you can put.
Surely they could do like a DNA thing, couldn't they? Nowadays, they're bound to have the DNA matches.
You would think that, but you know, they also can't prove or haven't proved anything
That was
about
very
Bill
weird,
Clinton.
that John Bonet thing, wasn't it? What do you think it was the parents in that? Do you think it was the family that covered it up?
Either that or they knew who it was and decided to take that person's side.
Yeah, it was odd. Yeah. It's a bit like that Madeleine McCann, a famous British girl that went missing in Portugal. It was all very, very sinister. Like her parents almost left her there purposely for someone to come and get her.
And that's the one where it has the people, the sketches of like the suspects that people saw or whatever, both looked like the fucking Podestas.
There was a really deep documentary about it, and apparently the mum and dad of Madeleine McCann, they're like high up doctors, and their mates, they're actually like they were having a dinner party with some guy who's like a known paedophile in Europe. He was some kind of high up doctor or something, and they were saying that they might be linked to a paedophile ring. And it was almost like their daughter was a sacrifice.
Well, that's what the the whole Molech thing is. Like Molech was like they would sacrifice the children to this evil
pagan god,
that's
you
got
know.
Bohemian Grove, isn't it? With what Alex Jones exposed.
Yeah, even in the emails, they made reference to Moloch in their emails, like of the fucking thing. Like, really, can't just be like, oh, we'll have to worship the devil tonight to get to work. Like, they're like,
attention, humans! Shape-shifting alien lizards have taken.
They are so obvious with things. They put it right out in front of our eyes. It's so obvious that you don't believe it.
Creatures have been among us since ancient times. Many famous world leaders belong to their cold-blooded race, such as Queen Elizabeth and former U.S. President George W. Bush. Oh, and secret societies like the Freemasons and the Illuminati are run by these lizards too. This belief in secret reptilian overlords dates as far back as 18...
Oh, it happened in Australia too, with a little boy. Evidence pointed to the parents' suspected involvement. That is very... I can never get that. How a parent could want to harm their own kid. It's disgusting. You kind of... You're not really human if you can do that. If you willingly hurt your own kid that you created.
And that was the test of wise King Solomon. Was
the Ballad of Matt Barr. Yeah, let's chuck that on. What's that? I don't think I've seen that.
Just sit right back and you hear a day or a faithful stream that started from this youth to show up for a time machine. The captain bands of us, his friends, and some with a little beer. They all dance happy on the floor, and Matt came aboard, The weather was getting bad that night, and Matt started a fight. The captain lost the steering control, the ship sank and broke. The ship sank and broke. The fight continued on the shore of the uncharted desert stream, with Mama and the sky review. The leader and his the youth to queen, and a group of funny old sings here on my bye.
They're fighting me. I'm not fighting Matt, and I had to tell him a million times, I'm not fighting you. You understand? I'm not fucking fighting you. Not at all. Like that. And he wouldn't listen. He keeps doing it. I mean, you're asking me these questions. I just want peace. How hard is it? You're just gonna accuse me of fighting. How hard is it? You're fighting all the time. Fucking starts with me.
It's good. I like that. Was that the same guy who done the Thundercats one? Thundercat?
I think so. Let me get back to that. Jubilation. Yeah, I just keep all kinds of fun, goofy videos. Just dox myself for everything. I think I just have to go on. Hold on.
There you go, mate.
Close that. Mr. Yana Fui, I think is.
They tell you exactly what they're doing, just with added ridiculousness, so it is discredited, but also admitted. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's. Dungeoneers, huh?
Mr. Yono Fui. Apparently, he did Thundercats too. Yeah. Yeah, that's, there it is. You got it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
we've created this style of content and it works. And yet people come over here because they're attracted to it. They go, I want to be a part of it. We play rough a little bit, but it's out of love, and your feelings get hurt. And then you want to control us. You want to change the content, make it more boring. You get your feelings hurt. You call us bullies and stuff, and then you got to go. And this is just the way it is, like over and over and over again.
Narwhal.
Narwhal.
Why am I in this? I wasn't even in Tampa.
It's probably because he fought against him in Marilyn Mysteries.
This is real. This is like a work episode. You know.
See the spirit of time transform this red form to Patrick, the ever-envious star.
Patrick put his life inside our ears. Look how they just killed their own careers.
I shouldn't. Okay, there.
Yeah, that wasn't one of Yanafui's best.
Yes. Anyone in the chat, give him a subscribe. He's quite funny. Like him.
You know, and see that's what I'm saying. It's like cartoonist kayfabe fan groups gone, replaced by Comicsgate. Another successful coup. So thank everyone for their alleged involvement. No one was involved. It was all. So that's the perfect thing. You could like just say anything, and it's no one would ever know nothing. It's insane. Well,
I think I have to jump off, fellas. I can't.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I think we may as well end the show there. It's been a good one.
Yeah, I had fun.
Show. Thanks for coming on. Nice to see you again, Doc and DarkGift. Yeah, and thanks to the chat. I'll chuck a video up for you to have a little chat on the way out. And I was gonna say as well, I'm gonna be busy on Easter Sunday, so I might have to push the show back a day if you're up for that, or we can just leave it for a week. It depends on what you want to do, Doc.
Well, is that next Sunday? Is that what that is?
Yeah, Easter Sunday. I'm going to be away, but I could do the Monday. But it's up to you.
Yeah, we could do it either way. Like, I don't know. I guess it just depends. Yeah, usually usually Monday they got the Kings going, so we would only have like 3 people watching.
All right. Well, we'll have a chat about it anyway.
Yeah.
And we'll let the people know. Catch you all later on, people. Thanks for coming.
Hell.
Take care.
Hey, I just wanna say, I'm back. Goodbye to the people who hated on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me. Goodbye to the people who trusted me. Goodbye to everybody. Goodbye to the people who hated on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me. Goodbye to the people who trusted me. Goodbye, goodbye to everybody. Now I've made some change in my life. Now I move on in life. Now it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye to everybody. Goodbye to the people who hated on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me. Goodbye to the people who trusted me. Goodbye, goodbye to everybody. Goodbye to the people who hate on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me. Goodbye to the people who trusted me. Goodbye, goodbye to everybody. I'm thinking deeply right now. My life without you, it's like wow, but I don't know how to explain this. I don't know why it's happening to me, but I just realize you're not the person you used to be. Now I've left this city. This bullshit is not gonna happen again. Goodbye to the people who hate on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me. Goodbye to the people who trusted me. Goodbye, goodbye to everybody. Goodbye to the people who hate on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me. Goodbye to the people who trusted me. Goodbye, goodbye to everybody. People who trusted me. Goodbye, goodbye to everybody. Goodbye to the people who hate on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me. Goodbye to the people who trusted me. Goodbye, goodbye to everybody. Goodbye to the people who hate on me. Goodbye to the people who loved me. Goodbye to the people who trusted me. Goodbye, goodbye to everybody.
But if you think I'm like making this up or imagining this, I'm at war. They're at war with me behind the scenes. There's people like, they don't even talk about you. That all they do is talk about me. Trust me. Trust me. All they do is talk about me. You want to know why, like, everybody is so quiet, like, on these live streams when they're nervous? They're trying not to say the wrong thing.
Johnny, switch to your, Thank you for watching, folks. Very much appreciated.
Call me unreliable, throw in undependable too.